On this episode of the Star Wars Time Show, Matt and Nick make their triumphant return from the Thanksgiving break to dive headfirst into some new Star Wars. Stay tuned for their full analysis and breakdown of the Skeleton Crew premiere episodes to find out if they think this series is a winner or if it'll fire up the trolls. We know that will happen regardless, so just listen to these two idiots figure out how you should actually feel about the Skeleton Crew. Of course, they'll end the show with the question of the week responses and the latest round of top 5 Star Wars fan artist features. Punch it, Chewie. Hey now, everybody! We are back, and by we, I mean myself and this little fat cat sitting behind me, because as you can see, if you're on the live stream, young Nick, MIA, once again, called into work at the last minute. I'm starting to think he just doesn't want to do the show anymore. No, I'm just kidding. Of course he does. He just, it's the ad business. It's the time of year, so he gets pulled all over the place. But he should be here hopefully in the next 30 minutes. That way we can get into our Skeleton Crew premiere episodes breakdown. Super excited to do that. Watched it on Monday. Put out my review yesterday, which by golly finally hit that mother effing algo. We're in it, people. Now I know what it feels like to be an actual Star Wars creator, where people actually get to see my content and they actually interact and they actually sub to the channel. It's amazing. It's been so great. I'm almost ready to revitalize my plan for the holidays and cover the show. Christmas Day, New Year's Day. Fuck it. People are giving me attention. My bucket's being filled. This is what life is all about online, isn't it, my friends? Isn't it? Isn't it? We know Sir Dork knows something about building a massive audience. This dude, he's rocking and rolling. He's got his YouTube plaque. He knows what it feels like when content hits. It feels good. I finally feel like I'm not a loser. You know what I mean? I love doing this stuff. I love breaking down Star Wars. I love making my videos. I don't love when no one watches it. So excuse me if I'm a little excited and slightly shocked that yesterday's Skeleton Crew premiere breakdown, clocking damn near 16 minutes, finally got some traction. Finally got some traction. Thank you, Divided. The trophies are appreciated. Welcome back, everyone. I know we missed last week. I missed everybody, but we are here. There you go, Sir Dork reporting now. The review's up to 3K. Let's go! The best part is I think we've added around 55 to 60 new subs since last night. So, yeah, I'm liking that type of stuff. I'm not liking my light right now, though. So let's turn the... Ooh, not like that. Let's do a little bit of that. There we go. Now I'm looking a little more pasty white. I was looking a little too orange, Oompa Loompa style. So, yeah, it's been an exciting day here. Yeah, what do you got here, Star Wars Order? My friend's Star Wars channel hit 3.72 from Oct to 24. Yeah, hey, man, it's been a slow roll here. I've been making content for over 14 years, not for this channel, but I used to have an Entertainment Buddha channel. And some things would hit in that. I had a real big Gears of War piece at one point in time. But once we started this Star Wars time back in 2018, it's been slow going. Shorts came in, that added to our base a little bit, but for the most part, if I put out long form content, the algorithm, probably because of you people, gives me the double bird, and it didn't happen this time. So I'm excited. I knew I was going to get a little more juice because we are in new Star Wars season. Anytime we're in new Star Wars season, we've got some content tends to pick up. I just realized that I forgot my damn stem. Crap. Nick's going to be pissed at me. I don't even know if it's worth recording at this point in time, but I'll start it just in case. It's probably not worth it, you know? Damn it. I'm an idiot. Why do I do this? No. Oh, well, we'll have to pull the video sound this week, it looks like. Yeah, I don't even know why I'm recording. I'm just going to stop that. Damn it. I'm an idiot. I am an idiot. But you know that. You all know that. You fandos know that. Oh, well, I tried. I even typed to Nick, I am going to start my stem, and then I didn't. It's his fault. When he's here with me before the show, we have our 1, 2, 3, go, and I get it every time. But when he's not here, he screws me up. What an ass. I just feel like such a dipshit. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna talk some shit. We're gonna get into Star Wars. The main segment this week, we know, is the breakdown of Skeleton Crew S1, E1, and E2. Woo hoo. You know what I mean? That was fun, right? Skeleton Crew was fun. I don't want to get too deep into it, but I really just want to start talking about Skeleton Crew. I guess I will share the story, and maybe this will resonate with some of you other fans out there that like to kind of commemorate your appreciation for Star Wars or Marvel or DC, whatever you're into. I don't know if you're like me, but when I watch something and it resonates, and I go, you know what? I like that. I like what I'm seeing here. I like the characters. I like the world. I like the story. I like the mystery. And whenever I watch something like that, especially if it's Star Wars, of course, I feel the need to honor the show making me feel like a kid again. You know, making me feel like young Matt in the 80s where, you know, Star Wars was life. Not that it's not life now, but hey, you know, when you're young, dumb, and full of what they say, you don't have all the stress. But it's just... I don't know. It's nice to be chatting about Star Wars, having people dig it, having people consume the content. Having most of the fandom seem somewhat positive so far over new Star Wars. So, like I said, I don't want to get deep into my review yet. Please, I'd love for you to watch my full breakdown. I mean, it's a review. I've got some theory crafting in there, a shit ton of Easter eggs, top moments, everything you need. After you watch new Star Wars. Don't forget, always come to the SWTS because there's always time for Star Wars time. And my dumb ass will try to educate you, fill in the gaps as best as I can while you're trying to parse through that galaxy that is so far, far away. All right, while we wait on young Nick and his expert analysis, let's get into some pop culture talk, if you will. I know it's been 2 weeks, so these movies have been out for a bit, but why not? Let's talk about them. I'll start with Gladiator 2 from Ridley Scott, starring Din Djarin and the guy from Training Day. I mean, that's literally how Denzel plays Macronus. It's funny. I kind of like it. But honestly, I found this sequel to be friggin' awesome. I'm not going to lie. I mean, I watched the first Gladiator to get ready for it, and at times I was like, man, this movie kind of drags. I still like Gladiator, but it's like, I don't know. It didn't resonate with me like it did when I was, 20 or 21. So I go in the Gladiator 2, like, all right, I'm all caught up. I at least know where we're at and who's who and what could happen here. And lo and behold, in rare circumstances, we know this as Star Wars fans, but I do think this sequel, Gladiator 2, is better than the original. I think it's got more action beats, more intense action beats. The story's a little bit better. It pays off on some stuff from the past. The cast is all around better, even though there are some returning cast members. But I don't know. I really dug Gladiator 2. I think it's fantastic. Definitely a big screen type of affair. There's really nothing bad to say about it. I mean, like a lot of movies like this, you can probably guess what happens. But I really dug Gladiator 2. I thought Pedro was great. This Paul Mescal, I never even heard of him. He was pretty solid. Denzel's always going to be intriguing. So it was fun. If you like watching people kill people, you're going to dig Gladiator 2. All right? Enough said. Plus, it adds to the lore. It world builds. It does stuff like that. All right, let's see what the live stream chatters have to say here. Don't forget, people, we do this live stream if you're listening on your radio or your favorite podcast platform. The live streams 5 p. East, or as close as we can get, Wednesdays, youtube.com/Star Wars Time Show. What we got here from Kenobi's Corner? My friend said he was talking about me. What did he say about my channel? I don't know. Was that me talking about you, Kenobi's Corner? I can't remember. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. Sir Dork, well, no way. I love the sequel, but definitely not as much as the original Gladiator. Oh, come on, Sir Dork. You know the sequel is better. You know it. You know it. We got Liam in here. Is this old school, Liam? Like you were a kid when you first started listening to our show, Liam? Wow, if it is, holy hell. Good to see you again, my friend. But yeah, we always want people to come in and say hi. You know, hang out on the live stream. If you like what you hear in the podcast version of this dumb show, let's do it live. And these days we've got the vertical and we've got the horizontal. So I'm not sure where some of you are coming in. If you're seeing me on your phone and I'm straight up and down and there's video underneath me, you're on the vertical. If you see me widescreen, you're on the horizontal. Oh, it is Liam. What up, homie? I bet Liam's like out of college now and all grown up and got a job and kids and wives and all sorts of shit. That's great to see a fan return. Hey, League, thank you for the trophies. I really wish I could get my face to stop looking so freaking orange today. I'm not really sure what's going on with the lighting in SWTS HQ. That doesn't help, does it? Who cares, right? No one's coming here to look at me anyways. It's for the stupid shit. Star Wars Order asking, how long did it take for you guys to hit 1K on this channel? I mean, honestly, I'd say at least it was about a year and a half. And then once YouTube started doing shorts, I was trying that. And shorts definitely built us back up. But we're still, like I said, we are slow roll. The algorithm hates our guts. I don't know what that says about our content. I don't know if we're not negative enough. You know what I mean? I guess we don't use woke enough in our Star Wars titles, but something hit this week. I hope it keeps up, but I don't have a lot of faith because this has happened in the past where when new Star Wars starts, we get a nice bump and then it kind of trails off after they learn that we're not just going to sit here and shit on Star Wars and Disney and all that shit for the entire channel here. So, all right, Divided Skywalker saying the lighting looks all right. I will take her opinion for it. So let's get to another movie I checked out over the break. I'm sure a lot of you did because I think this made some coin at the theaters, which is good. Whether you like movies like Wicked or not, we need this type of shit. And by we, I mean us cinemaphiles, people that do like to go to the theater still. I mean, I love it. It's one of my favorite things to do in terms of entertaining my dumb ass. So I love when a movie can actually make some Skrilla at the box office. So, Wicked. Listen, I don't know shit about Wicked. I didn't know crap about it. I never saw the play. I'm not that type of person. Although, I'm not like anti-theater. It's just not my favorite thing to do. But I'm always down for learning about lore. We've talked about this on this show. I mean, one of my favorite things about being a Star Wars fan, fanboy, speculator, whatever you want to call me, jerk off, jag off, if you're in Pittsburgh, is lore and learning about how things came to be. That's why I was so excited about the prequels and letting them inform me and exactly how Anakin Skywalker, the Chosen One, became Darth Vader. I like learning about what came before what we already know. So going into Wicked, knowing it was a musical, it's like, whatever. I'm not against musicals. I love The Greatest Showman, right? Come on, Hugh. But I went in going, like, you know what? I might actually learn something here about the Wizard of Oz verse. And I did. And I dug that. I like that. Even mixed in with all the songs and me not really knowing what the hell was going on with Elphaba and Galinda, who's now Glinda, and goat teachers and all that crap. I really appreciated the lore that Wicked gave me for Wizard of Oz. All right, it kind of picks up at the end of Wizard of Oz, but then it goes back in the past. You learn about how the monkeys came to be and the Wicked Witch and Galinda. I don't know. I dug it. I'm sorry. I'll go see part 2. What can I say? It was fun. It was fun, and Ariana Grande is definitely easy on the eyes. So was whoever played Elphaba. I feel like an ass because I don't know her name. But it was fun. It's a fun movie. And fun movies usually make a lot of money. So kudos to the crew for kicking ass on Wicked. Definitely worth watching on the big screen. And I think a sing-along version's coming out soon. Not that I would go see that, but those of you that might have wanted to be in there and be the jerk-off singing and yelling throughout your entire screening, it sounds like you are going to have that opportunity. Cynthia Erivo, thank you, League. Yeah, she's I love, I'm going to admit something here. I'm a huge fan of the black female physique. I love it. I'm like addicted to the shit. I'm not married to a black female, but I appreciate the black physique. And some black women with a bald head, whew, looks good. I'm all about it. What else we got here? Sir Dork. Yeah, Sir Dork's the greatest showman fan. Hell yeah, man. I love that movie. Divided saying she wants to watch it, but it's almost 3 hours. It doesn't, it's one of those movies, Divided, where it's long. Yes, it's about 2:45, but it didn't feel like it. My P meter wasn't going off. I think because it is a musical and they hit a lot of musical beats, it kind of flows that way. You know what I mean? So I don't think you have to worry about passing out in your seat for that one. So there you go on Wicked. Definitely I don't know if, what were they calling it? Glicked? Gladiator and Wicked, kind of like how we had the Barbenheimer. I don't know if it quite generated that amount of cashola like Barbie and Oppenheimer did last summer, but I'm pretty sure both movies did pretty well. So that's a good sign for us. We know our next movie, Mando and Grogu, slated for May of 26, and word came out this week during some Skeleton Crew promo. I guess my man Filoni has informed the world that shooting, at least principal photography, is done on Mando and Grogu. So that's good. That means they got the hard part done. Now it's all down to editing and post, adding in the VFX, all that fun stuff. So that's good news, at least from the Star Wars movie front. They actually got a damn movie filmed. That's huge. Because they haven't got a movie filmed since, 2018, when they probably wrapped on The Rise of Skywalker. So that's positive news. But Filoni also, when interviewed on the red carpet for S Crew, did reveal that he hasn't even finished writing Ahsoka Season 2 yet. And he explained that he is the sole writer, which is probably why it's taking so long. And, he was just doing a movie. So I don't think Ahsoka Season 2 at this point starts shooting until probably late spring of 25, maybe the start of summer. So Ahsoka S2, as we've talked before, you're looking at 2026 at best for getting that. And who knows? Maybe S Crew will inform us a bit on what we could expect in Ahsoka Season 2. They are in the same timeline. Hopefully everyone is clear on that. All right. Well, no Nick yet. I don't hear the Skype call ringing here. Let me check my Slack real quickly to see if he has any updates on his ETA. No. So we'll just hopefully wait for him to call in, and then we'll start rocking and rolling. But I got something special here for you live streamers, especially the fandos, the members of the channel. And I will, quick little pitch. If you're new here, we do have a lot of new subs coming in after that kick-ass. I don't want to pump myself up too much, but the fact that my Skeleton Crew review has crested 3,000 in less than 24 hours, for a tiny channel like us, that is huge. But if you're a subscriber, we love you. If you want to take it to the next level and like divide it in here or league, get the little Vader cat next to your name in the chat, and then have access to special emojis, which we're going to talk about here next, we would love for you to consider becoming an SWTS YouTube channel member. Details down here in the description of the video. Just hit that button. We got $1.99, $4.99, and $9.99. There you go. Divided showing off the exclusive emojis for us, which is a great segue into the next little topic I have for you all. So we some of the fandos here, some of the subscribers, the members of the channel, were asking for an emoji refresh. And currently, based on our number of members, we can only have a certain set of emojis. So I put out a poll for members to check out to replace some of our existing emojis. Now, if we get 2 more members, we'll get a bunch more emojis. So that's more motivation for bringing some people along as paid SWTS rubes. But we put out a poll before Thanksgiving on what are some of the new emojis you all would like to get in there. At one point in time, I believe someone asked for emojis of Nick and myself. So if you're on the live stream, you can see this would be Nick's emoji. And then here is mine, the angry guy screaming at clouds, of course. All right, so those are up there. We may have to save the Matt and Nick for when we get to 2 more subs. You know what I mean? What do you mean, Star Wars Order? The perks are perfect. Come on. $1.99 for some sweet emojis. Sometimes you get content early. There's nothing better than that. It's just $1.99. But seriously, I'm not trying to strong arm anyone into this. But I think if we do get 2 more, What type of perks are you getting on other channels that you would pay for? What I looked at, a lot of perks are bullshit. So I appreciate the feedback, but I'm wondering what would you pay for? I mean, a reach around? What are we looking for here? What's going to get some more members? Do some dirty dancing? You know, I could speak out of my bunghole like Ace Ventura. You never know. But like I said, I think we're going to save the host emojis for when we get to the next tier of levels. So what I do want to present to everyone, and the listening audience as well, is the members wanted me to put up 3 different emojis to replace some of our existing ones. The request for Mando, for Thrawn, and for Kylo Ren. All right, members were allowed to vote because that's a perk. There you go. Look at that. And sadly, our members can't make up their minds. So I don't even know how we could do this live. Maybe I'll just choose the ones because I am the god of Star Wars time. But up first, if you look, we got our Mando. 3 of them are tied at 33%. Quite frankly, I think Din Grogu was the best one, but the fans gave him no love. So he is cut immediately. So we are left with Mando 1, Mando 2, Mando 3, all at 33% of the vote. I think, in my opinion, if I had to choose one, I'm going with Mando 3. So if you're on the live, you can see Mando 3 down there. Yeah, League, the polls are up. I put the polls up almost 12 days ago, so you should be able to see them in our community feed, members only. So maybe League, if you haven't voted, get in there. Maybe you'll tip the tide, and by the end of the show, we can pick our new emojis. But as of right now, if we don't get any more votes, I'm picking Mando 3 to replace one of our existing emojis. Okay. Then we got the Thrawn. This one's very clear here. We got a winner here. It's 100%. It wasn't even close. TikTok Thrawn destroyed Thrawn 2, Thrawn 3, and Thrawn 4. So that's an easy pick. TikTok Thrawn will be added to the list for members. And then finally, we have another tie here with Kylo Ren. But I'm sorry. I think there's a clear winner here. I do understand the love for Kylo making the little lightsaber heart emoji. I'm not going to lie. I kind of dig that. I think it would pop. But it's hard for me to not go with the one labeled the winner. I mean, look at that. Look at him. That's him going. That's what the AI thought when I typed. I said, give me Kylo Ren screaming more. And that's what it gave me in the winner. And I think it's fantastic. He kind of looks like a Kylo Ren demon. You know what I mean? So if Lee gets in there and drops some votes, maybe she will sway the choice on Kylo and Mando. But as of right now, if I have to make my choices, I'm going Mando 3 and probably the winner for Kylo Ren. So if there's any members out there listening and you haven't voted yet, I guess I'll let it go for a few more days. But if the numbers remain the same starting next week, I'm going to go ahead and whip out the host thingy, you know what I'm talking about, and make the call. Sound good? All right. Yeah, hell yeah, divided that's temper tantrum Kylo Ren. Hell yeah, it is. Oh, League did get the votes. All right, League, no problem. Live polls during the show. If I had my co-host with me, I probably could fire those off. But now that I have to manage multiple chats with the vertical and the other one and drive the show myself, it could be a little clunky here. Let me try to get one fired up here. We'll start a poll here. Are we dumb? There you go. Here we go. Have fun with that, people. Although that'll probably crash the chat at this point in time. So you never know over here. The technology tends to fail us pretty hard. What's going on the vertical live over here? I'm not getting a lot of data. There we go. Man, the vertical live's going to be way, way behind. We're all good. Devin, hopefully you're all right over there in the vertical. Our poor boy, our wrencher, Doty, he's over in the vertical. He's probably like, what the hell's going on here? Something happened. Like, it definitely was off. All right. So we'll see if anyone comes in and votes. All right. Sweet. Dumb Show is winning so far at 60%. I love you guys. You all are the best. Perfect. That is perfect. I shouldn't expect anything more from all of you, but that's why I love you. So, all right, there's our poll work. Well, it's about that time to get in the Skeleton Crew. So I'm gonna vamp a little bit more, just as a reminder to you collectors out there. The Columbia Star Wars Vader collection goes live tomorrow. All right. So if you're an ass like me and you like to overpay for winter gear just because it has the Star Wars license, hey, I love you too, Star Wars Order. These go on sale tomorrow. If you join Columbia's site, you can get 30-minute early access, which would kick off at, I believe, 11:30 East on December 5th. And I'm not going to lie. I mean, I know we talked about this a few weeks ago when I first tipped these off, but this collection is strong. Strong. I mean, you got this 3L interchain jacket. You've got a Hayden Christensen signed version for 2 large. You got Vader boots. You got a Vader parka. You got the Vader convertible jacket vest. Of course, the hoodie. That's going to be a must buy. I recommend going the all black version. And you know what? I'm even kind of digging this half tech or Vader tech half zip long sleeve thing. So just as a reminder, and please wait until after I secure my items, but tomorrow, as early as 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time, if you're a member of Columbia's site, you can start buying the Vader collection. Yes, it's pricey. It is super pricey, all right? But it's worth it. Bat, stop it. You need to buy it, okay? I just bought a bunch of Black Series toys like an asshole, so now you have to be an asshole too and buy overpriced Star Wars Columbia winter gear, even though you live in what I assume is a year-round warm state where you probably don't need any winter gear, but you do. But you really do. All right, so that's that. No Nick yet. Let me check the Slack. He's trying to call in. Hold on. Here we go. He should be coming. Here he comes, people. All right, let's get the stream reconfigured for young Nick. Hey, there he is.
All right.
He's here. Give us a clarity check, my friend. Yeah, Nick, I mean, Rory Schmidt brought it up when I announced that I fucked up the stem again, and pretty much we just blamed it on you. I was like, when Nick's here to start the show, I can do it. If he's not, I literally typed to Nick, starting my stem, and then I didn't do it.
Yeah.
Like, that is severe brain rot, man. That is like, don't do drugs, okay, people? Don't
do drugs.
Do drugs.
That's Title of today's episode.
Holy shit. Because now I knew. I was like, oh, maybe I could salvage it. But I was about 3 minutes in this, probably saying something stupid. And I was like, well, I'd still have to download the YouTube track. So it's like, oh, well, here we are, starting out on the right foot. Skeleton Crew week. Yahoo! All right. Hey, he's here, and it looks like he's got a new watch. Check that shit out.
Do I? Oh wait, no. This is the same watch. I just don't know if you can see my watch often.
Yeah, you're right. You always got your hands down below. Who knows what you're doing with yourself? But
that's right.
It looks good. It looks good. All right. Well, welcome, friend. You're actually coming in at a great time. I got through all the dumb shit. We have a poll going up asking if this is a dumb show. We're at 57%, so that's pretty good. We got someone in the vertical chat saying "fuck you, me to Russia, you fuck." So that's lovely.
Yeah,
maybe that's I think that's Russian for hello. How are you doing today?
Yeah, maybe so.
How you doing there? All right, so let's do a little Ask Us Anything since you're here, right? And then we'll go ham on Skeleton Crew because I'm assuming you're kind of juiced from it. The community's pretty pumped at large. Although knowing the way the world works, Nick may be anti-Skeleton Crew. You never know. The world loves it. The trolls love it. Nick may be coming in hot, ready to piss all over it. But that's why we love opinions. But let's go ahead and change gears up because we forgot to do it last time. Let's get into our Ask Us Anything. Remember, we post a prompt on Instagram, YouTube, in our community, in our Discord. The Discord's open. If you want to join, just hit the description of this video. Thank you very much. All right, so let's go ahead and hide that, and we'll bring up our Slackaroony. We did have a few questions from the last show that we might be able to piss through real quick because there wasn't a lot for this week, which is fine. Then we answered that one from Thoughts on the Jake Paul. We did that one. Okay, we did the Thanksgiving. All right, here's one. Waffles, pancakes, or French toast, young Nick?
I prefer pancakes, but that's just me. I actually used to own a waffle maker, and one of Taylor and I's like old breakfasts that we used to do was like we would each like get one waffle and then eggs and bacon, but we stopped doing the waffles.
Yeah, like I don't know, man. Oh shit, Obama's up in this bitch. Yeah! What's up, Obama? I love you. Please come back. Oh, Smitty's a pancake guy. Nick's a pancake guy. Honestly, I'm a waffle guy. I'm a waffle guy. And I'm like a creepy waffle guy. You know what I mean? A creepy waffle guy. And what I mean by that is they're almost like crepes. I like my waffles kind of mushy. And I perfected a science. Like if you whip the batter up and let it sit overnight so the oil rises, then you add a little more milk to it the next day, they come out nice and runny. They almost taste like it's almost like borderline donut consistency. You know what I mean? It's
interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I'm not like a crispy waffle guy unless I'm doing chicken and waffles. Then I want the waffle to be a little crunchier. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
There we. Hey, look at that SW Props up in here. Congrats to your client, SW Props, little Ravi. He's a hell of an actor, man. He's doing great as Wim. Tell him we spoke his name, and we love what he's doing so far. It's good to see. We got a lot of people popping in here. I mean, we got fucking former presidents, Russian spies.
Yeah, we're hitting all the corners of the internet.
Yeah. Yeah, we got Star Wars talent agents up in this piece, so I'm loving it here. No, Props, you're answering if we're a dumb show. That's the live poll. The fans wanted a live poll this week, so on the fly while Nick wasn't here, that's what I came up with. Obama's coming through with some good shit. Hold on. Let's put this up on the screen here. Yo, did you know there's a fish waffle in Japan, I think? All right. You were over there, Obama, probably meeting the president. So come on, you should be more definitive on that answer.
I do think that I have seen that fish waffle before. Yeah. I haven't had it, but
I mean, listen.
I would eat it.
I fucking hate seafood. I mean, it makes sense. You like it. You grew up on the goddamn bayou, so you know. Yeah. Seafood no good. I mean, I'll do some scallops maybe at like a hibachi. But I'm red meat, chicken, stuff like that. All right, good question there, Beast. Where is Beast, by the way? Come on, Beast Mobile, where you at? Yo, Star Wars props. Star Wars never went away, pal. Never went away. It never went away. All right. Thoughts on Penguin, Arcane, and first episode? Oh, shit. Come on, Abby. I am a slack off. Have you watched any of these yet?
I have. So we watched the first 2 or 3 episodes of Penguin, and we really just didn't get into it. Like, it just didn't grab us the way that it did everybody else, apparently. But one of our friends said that, like, after it's either episode 3 or episode 4, it gets really good. So we're debating on whether we want to restart it or not. I have not finished Arcane. I've just been really swamped with work stuff, so I haven't had a lot of extra time for shows. I finished episode 3 of Arcane yesterday, and I think that's a really good show. It's really fun to watch. Even if you don't play League of Legends, it's still a really good show because the animation style is very cool.
It must be good because what's her name? Jinx just got a Hot Toys that looks pretty fucking great. Like, it's stylized like the show would be.
Yeah, I mean, like, this show has like incredibly high ratings from viewers, from critics, from everything. Like, this show is like 100% on Rotten Tomatoes or something like that. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I think. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, and then Dune Prophecy. So that was another one where, like, Taylor and I aren't super invested in the Dune universe. Like, we've seen both of the movies and enjoyed them.
Is Denis related to the TV show at all, even as a consultant, or no?
I have no idea. But we started watching the first episode, and like, that one in particular is like a full length movie run. It's like an hour and 25 to an hour and 30 minutes. And we got about halfway in, and we were just like, all right, this is slow. I'm sure that it's a good show, but, like, maybe we'll come back to it and see if we enjoy it. But it just was not hitting really well for either of us because we only know Dune because of the movies. Like, we didn't, like, she has the books but hasn't read them, and then I don't have any, like, other outside knowledge of Dune. So that might be one we revisit, but for now we've kind of shelved it.
Yeah, well, hey, something happened over the summer. I had to kind of rein in the costs. That's no longer the case. But I do have a 4-month max token to redeem because I'm a YouTube TV nut that also gets an NFL Sunday ticket. So I'm planning to do that now for multiple reasons. Penguin, Dune, but more importantly, the AFC North mid-season Hard Knocks just started yesterday. And being a fan of the Steelers, and they seemingly don't suck this year, I kind of want to check that out because Hard Knocks has never even gotten close to the Steelers facility. I think Mike Tomlin wants to kill him. There was a funny bit this Sunday where his tackle called him like, "Oh shit, coach, you were mic'd up." He's like, "Shut up!" Like, he was just like, he's just pissed that he has to be mic'd up for Hard Knocks. So I need to cash that in and start getting caught up. But yeah, I think Penguin's going to be the next one because we finally finished Shogun, which kicked ass. And then from Penguin, I'll probably go to Dune. Silo's back on TV Plus, so I gotta come back to that. And just if we don't have a lot of time at night, we will throw on Shrinking, which I think is one of the funniest, best written shows of all time. That's the one with Harrison Ford and Jason Segel, some of the creators from Ted Lasso on Apple TV Plus. It's just fucking fantastic. Obama, you're the president. If you have a question, just lay it out there, pal. What do you got? Lay it on us. We are here to serve, Mr. President. Yeah, Silo is amazing. Can't wait to pick up season 2. All right, let's go to another question here. Who would you recast as the mains in A New Hope, or is it perfect coming from Scion XTCs? That's blasphemy. It's blasphemy.
Or is this like I guess I would want a clarifying question there. Is this like a modern recasting? Like, if A&H was being like made today, who would we cast in those roles? Because, like, if you go back, like, it's like I don't have enough information or like memory on actors from like 1977 and like the early 80s for me to be able to choose
since Scion's
from.
not here, Nick, let's just say, if you could use modern day talent.
Yeah, so if we're recasting for a modern day shoot, I would probably do Sebastian Stan as Luke Skywalker, just to keep the integrity of the visual look. And I think that Mark and Sebastian are both open to the idea of him playing that role. For the Harrison Ford role, so for Han Solo,
you're not going to Alden, dude.
I
Glenn
think that
Powell.
I was gonna say it would be between Alden and Glenn Powell.
Fuck yeah, dude! Glenn Powell's the new Tom Cruise.
Yeah. I think that Alden did a fantastic job as Han, but I do think that Glenn Powell has a little, like, he's just got that little something.
He's cool, man. He oozes cool, dude. Like,
yeah, he's just got that cool factor. So I would probably lean towards Glenn Powell on that one. And then for Leia's such a hard one. I'm like trying to think of somebody who would fit in that role.
Use her daughter.
Well, Billy, but I feel like Billy is much more reserved than Carrie was. Like, she's not as like in your face and outgoing and like has that personality. I would almost, people are probably going to be pissed that I'll say this, but I would probably do like Emma Roberts. Emma Roberts is fantastic at like super biting dialogue. She's like,
who is that? That's not Hermione, is it?
No. Emma Roberts is primarily a TV actor. Like, she was in a lot of the American Horror Story series. She was in Scream Queens, if you've ever seen that. She was in Scream 4, the movie Scream 4. She's been in a lot of stuff, and she typically plays like, I would say like mean girl type of characters, but I feel like you could take some of that energy that she has and not be like as mean girl about it, but be a really good Leia. So that would probably be who my top three or like my primary three would be.
Oh, Bat's saying she was in Madam Web.
I have not seen that movie.
Scarlett Johansson is Leia. Hell yeah, dude. I love Scarlett. I need to watch that Man on the Moon coming to TV Plus here in, I think, a couple days. Hey there, Big Wood 4717. I'm sorry, everyone. I'm like having light OCD today. You're just gonna have to bear with me. I have problems. Nick knows about it. It's just how we roll. I can't. Like, I literally am fucking ADD boy. All right. Yeah, Mando's saying she's good because she's bossy. I'm going that. No, we're not going to recast. We're digging up dead bodies. We're doing the CG, goofy shit, Uncanny Valley type of thing. If we're keeping it modern. Star is asking if there's any children locked in my basement. Not this week. Not this week. Not this week. But typically on off weeks, that's when we have the trafficking operation up and running here. All right. Good one there from Scion XTC. Glenn Powell. League, what film are you watching this holiday? Or have you watched any yet, Nick? Or have you fired up any Christmas movies, any of the new Netflix ones? When you brought up Lohan, I was like, I just watched her latest Netflix Christmas special. Not bad. Not bad.
No, I don't really like Christmas movies, to be completely honest with you.
Not at all. Like, would you even like do a Harry Potter rewatch? Because, you know, it gets kind of seasonal and festive at the mid-semester point.
Yeah, like apparently people are like now calling Harry Potter a Christmas movie. Like if that's the case, then maybe. But like, yeah, like standard holiday movies, like I just don't have any interest in watching them. Like maybe Christmas Vacation at the most. But yeah, like I don't like holiday movies.
I don't know, man.
They just don't do it for me. They all are very typically the same.
Oh, of course. And they're all usually not that good, but I think Netflix has mastered addictive, low quality Christmas flicks. And Vanessa Hudgens is the star. I mean, if you all have not watched the Princess Switch trilogy yet, you're fucking missing out. You are missing out. They legitimately have, Netflix I'm talking about, they have a Christmas cinematic universe going on over there. They've created like fake countries where they've got this other trilogy, but it references the Princess Switch, and the Princess Switch references this. It's amazing. Like, you want to talk about world building? Netflix Christmas universe. Can't beat it. Watch The Merry Gentleman if you really want to make yourself angry watching a Christmas movie. That it's about a girl going back to her small hometown and turning her parents' bar into a mail review. And that there's some quality acting in there. Chad Michael Murray, they strapped like a carpet on his head. And they're like, yeah, this looks good, doesn't it? And the whole movie, you're just going, what is on that dude's fucking head? Like, who does that? Who puts that wig on and goes, yeah, this is good for film. This is going to work. This is going to work. Bat is into a Batman Returns for Christmas movie. Hey there, Will the Force. I'll get to you in a second. We got to get back to the president's question. I did let him ask it. Here we go. Obama is asking, what do you think about Japan food and America food? What do you think, Nick?
What do I think about Japanese food in America?
Yeah.
I mean, I love Japanese food. Japanese food is like one of my favorite foods to eat in America. So, yeah, I'm a big fan. Big fan.
If gun to head, you can only eat Japanese or American.
Japanese, without a doubt.
Nice, dude. Nice. You don't like the high saturated fat, cholesterol inducing American fare? No,
not much anymore. Not much anymore.
You know what? I might be with you. I mean, I probably go Mexican, Italian, Asian, American. But Mexican, like, listen, I am a Chipotle crack head. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. I have to eat Chipotle at least once a week or I die. That's what it is.
I would say that is your like go-to.
I think sure. Because I was in one of the first ever markets when it showed up at the end in the late 90s. I mean, they used Columbus as a test market, so it's pretty much my entire adult life. I've been shoving that shit down my pie hole, and I love it. I absolutely love it. I don't love the way they've been screwing us on portion sizes these days, but the stock's doing well, so that helps me as well. All right, man, the chat is freaking nuts today. I love it. Obama's got another question. We always got to go to Obama. Then we'll get my man Will the Force up there. Obama's asking if we have kids. Yes, I do. Nick does not. His are all furry. Mine is actually a little human meat bag. All right, there's Will the Force. Good to see Will the Force getting back to the Star Wars community. He's cutting some content this week on IG. Check him out. Did some really good stuff. He puts together some good videos. He's very good on camera. In fact, I want to start holding a mic like he does instead of talking into a mic like we do. I think it just looks cooler when you're just sitting there fucking rocking on a mic. But Will the Force is bringing up, at one point I saw a Filoni interview where he talks about his love for AT-AT drivers. Wonder if he had anything to do with the name ATTIN.
I'm almost sure he did.
I'm glad Will brought this up, because now I can flex on you motherfuckers when you used to say, it's not AT-AT, it's AT-AT. Meh. Where the fuck are you now? All right? It's AT-AT. If it's AT-ATTIN, it's AT-AT. There's no way you can parse this now. It is AT-AT, not AT-AT. AT-AT. Thank you. If it was A period, T period, dash A period, T period, then it would be AT-AT. AT together forms AT, right? Sesame Street. AT. Thank you. All right, Will, good to see you here in the stream, brother. Catch you later. All right, what else we got here? Red One was good. If you like an action Christmas movie. Violent Night is the shit. You got to watch that, Nick. I mean, it's this like Viking Santa Claus just freaking murders everybody. And then Silent Night or whatever, I think, is the one that came out last year with Joel Kinnaman, where he kind of gets busted up by a gang. They shoot his kid, and then he goes on a rampage during the holidays. So it's a very uplifting movie for Christmas time. Man, League, you got us on a freaking tangent there. My answer, I'm going to watch all the dumb shit on Netflix, probably even rewatch stuff, definitely watch the new stuff. But once we get into Christmas week, that's when my Star Wars chronological order rewatch begins for the year. I do it every year at this time, and I'm looking forward to it. I purposely try to miss all Star Wars movies as they play throughout a year so I can do my my full chronological rewatch with the family. So that's going to be where a lot of my screen time will be coming from. All right, we got a little time here. Who had the better last stand, Thorne or Keeley? I don't even know what the hell that means. Are these clones probably? All right.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Sorry, Kramer.
those
I'm
names.
usually pretty good at this shit, but when we start getting like way down into clone lore, I'm a loser. Favorite pizza topping from SWTS? We did this one, didn't we? Yeah, let's do it again. Go ahead.
Yeah, I can't remember. I mean, I like a buffalo chicken pizza. That's my favorite pizza type.
I'm guessing you're not like a Hawaiian pizza guy then. You don't like the pineapple and bacon and
I like the pineapple.
I do too.
Like
I do too.
I don't have really a pizza topping that I'll like turn my nose up at. Like I'll eat supreme pizza, I'll eat all veggie pizza, I'll eat,
white pizza,
whatever. Yeah, I'll eat like whatever. What is it? It's like I know at Papa John's, because that's the one that is closest to our house. They have a Philly cheesesteak pizza with like
there you go.
I'll eat that and it has white sauce. I'll eat anything. Really, the only thing I don't like is anchovies because they're typically too salty.
Yeah, and you already got cheese on there, so you're getting a pretty good salt quotient.
Yeah.
Do you only do chain then? Do you have anything local in Austin that's worth getting, or you just hit the Papa up?
We do. We have Home Slice, which is really good, and Aviator. Those are the two local ones that we like to go to.
Yeah.
And at those local ones, I still get the I get the buffalo chicken.
Yeah, you know what I mean, though. I mean, listen, come on. I'm a Midwestern dope. I'm not going to shit on chain pizza because that's pretty much all we had. This ain't the East Coast. But yeah, I'm kind of same way. I mean, I sometimes I'm embarrassed to admit it. I think they've cleaned up their act a little bit, but I kind of do Domino's a lot. They're cheap as shit. Their app's good. Their rewards are ridiculous. You pretty much get a free pizza every other week. They got good variety, good deals, good subs aren't bad. They actually have a really good buffalo chicken sub there, young Nick, if you ever want to try that out.
Yeah, I used to, like, Domino's was my go-to, but then Domino's doesn't deliver in our area. And it's like, and even when you go in, like, I mean, you could do pickup orders and stuff like that, but the Papa John's is like 5 minutes from my house, and then the Domino's is like 20 minutes from my house.
Oh, yeah.
So
you got to be efficient. I got you there.
Yeah. So you just got to make it
every once in a while, we'll do some Little Caesars. That's cheap shit, too. Plus, they got those little pizza cups that are excellent. They look like cupcakes, but they're pizzas. But I definitely prefer real pizza. Like, my favorite pizza of all time is a place called Grotto. It's out east, kind of in Delaware, maybe in Maryland, but definitely at Rehoboth Beach or Ocean City, Maryland. Love that shit. It is awesome. Had some good pizza in Philly last week, too. It was a Detroit style. So it's kind of like Chicago, where it's a deep dish, but it's a square. So you get more corners, and they get nice, that kind of that burnt cheese. So good. So good. I love Philly. I went to the Reading Street Terminal Market there and got the Knicks, got a hot pork sandwich with long hots and broccoli rabe and American provolone. Oh. All right, here we go. Yeah, Little Caesars, let's go. Cheap, shitty pizza, represent. All right, so I think we cleared through the old questions. Now let's try to zip through some of the new ones here. And then we'll get to Skeleton Crew. Don't worry, people. We've got plenty of time saved for Skeleton Crew. Coming in from our buddy Sir Dork, who was in here earlier. If you had to dress like a specific Star Wars character in your everyday life, which would it be? Cassian seems to rocking some cool jackets in Andor S2.
Yeah, if I had to rock a fit every day, it would probably be like, I mean, Han. I like like it's a very simple getup. You got some corduroy pants, a white shirt, and then a vest. I feel like that's a standard, easy one to pull off. Yeah, who else? Everybody else dresses has weird, either they're wearing armor or they're wearing long ass cloaks. I guess Cassian is another good one. But I'm leaning towards Han because I think the vest is a good addition.
I'm gonna dress like the motherfucking dancers in the Life Day video. Like you saw, hopefully everyone got that. We made a big deal about that, or John Watts did. We got a massive Life Day Easter egg in there, and it was right there in episode 1 when the little Niels family and Tulu, fucking Tulu, Screw Neil. Tulu is the real hero of that family. But they're watching that shit. That was the Life Day thing, and they fully recreated those goofy dances, and they're like in full spandex suit. They look like Teletubbies, right? I don't know if you remember that scene. It was the hollow projector in Neil's house, but they literally look like Teletubby people. But in all seriousness, I think I would dress like Luke Skywalker. I want to go kimono style some days, get my tunic on with some pants, shit like that. When I want to relax, I'll go Farm Boy Luke. When I have to go in for an interview, I'll go Return of the Jedi Luke in my blacks. And if I have to go to church, I'll go Mandoverse Luke, where he's in his blacks but has the tunic style going. So
yeah,
there we go. All right, Beast Mobile. Where is Beast? It just doesn't feel right that B-Mad's not up in this bitch. But anyways, Beast Mobile's asking, if you got 24 hours as any Star Wars character, which one would you be?
I would probably choose like one of the old Republic Sith, because those are just like, those dudes were so powerful. Their powers were fucking wild and crazy. Like, I don't even know if I would pick Revan. I would probably pick Nihilus, because to have that,
you world eater, you.
Yeah, I was saying, to have the power to drain an entire planet of its life essence has to be just something crazy to experience. Yeah, I would probably lean towards like Nihilus from KOTOR 2, or I mean, you essentially played as Revan all the way through.
Yes,
KOTOR
you know that.
1,
you know that
like,
lifestyle.
Yeah, you kind of get a bit of it, but maybe like Revan pre-brainwash. Those would probably be my two picks.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, I'd love to just say Darth Vader, but I would imagine it'd be pretty fucking miserable,
I must say, that would suck so much.
You're just going to be in constant physical and mental pain, and you just get shit on by your boss.
Yeah, constantly.
But
like, there's no way that that's a fun one.
being a short man, I would love to be tall for a day. So I think I'm sticking with it. Maybe I'll just be Anakin before he gets fricasseed. How's that?
There you go.
All
there
right.
you go.
Nick does need a Hot Toys Revan. I'll tell you what, I'm glad I pre-ordered that shit, because he looks boss in some of these blogger photos that are coming out. I got the Revan lightsaber. He's got the saber. He's got the saber. Speaking of sabers, I'm going to need more profile pics from you, because I'm down to just your Revan lightsaber pictures. So
okay,
we got to get loaded up for this season of Skeleton Crew breakdowns. All right, good question here. Next, Bat 1-1. Fuck you, Bat. You and your winning. This motherfucker, he's got like as many Hot Toys as me, but has only spent maybe $13, because he just, he puts in $10 for raffles on Instagram. What a lucky son of a bitch.
He just wins them.
What a lucky son of a bitch. Good for you. You should play the lottery.
Yeah, really.
We did the Thanksgiving thing 2 weeks ago, so I'm going to respectfully pass through here. We love you. Okay, this one's for me. Michael Kramer. Thoughts on the brawl following the game on Saturday, Matt, and should Day get the boot? Okay, here's my thoughts. It was pathetic. If you get that angry about people planting a flag on your field, why weren't you that angry when it was legal to fight for 60 minutes in between the sidelines? You know what I mean? Like, where was that fucking energy, Ohio State, when you were letting a 6-5 shitbag Michigan team with two of their best players not playing in your house beat you up at the line of scrimmage? I thought it was disgusting. It's emblematic of Ryan Day's shitty leadership. Look at the video of him when his senior that came back is literally spilling his guts on the field going, they're going to plant the flag. He's literally staring like this, Nick. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen a big time head coach. He's just staring like, how did that just happen? How did I just lose 4 in a row? What is my problem? Why did I decide to run the ball 22 times for 77 yards when I could have thrown it to literally 3 NFL wide receivers? It's so pathetic what is happening at this program under this piece of shit noob fuck who was gifted this job from Urban Meyer. Bring back Urban. I know he's a fucking shitbag human, but he's a goddamn winner and a leader of men. I can't take it anymore. Any Buckeye fan that thinks this is okay and they think that everything's going to be all right because they're still in the playoffs, what evidence do you have that he's going to win in the playoffs? The dude is 2-4 in bowl games. Like, let's go. Let's go. He's a fucking bum. All right? Thank you. All right. Get me all worked up. Holy shit. Oh, this is coming from a new one. One true Star Wars fan over on YouTube. If you were to make another channel, what other movie franchise would you make it on, not including Star Wars? This is easy. I'm going to answer for both of us. Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah, it would be Lord of the Rings.
All right. If you were a Jedi... Sorry, Nick. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, I was going to say, like, it's in a similar situation where, like, there's an actively running show for it. Yeah. So it's easier to make content.
Yeah, 100%. If you were a Jedi, which colored lightsaber would you get and who would be your master? Then who would be your Padawan? These are good questions.
If I was a Jedi, what lightsaber color would I want? I mean, okay, so I guess we have to stick to like movie canon lightsaber colors.
Nah, fuck it.
For
go
Jedi.
KOTOR. Who cares?
So the one, like, I always liked the black lightsaber hilt or the black lightsabers.
Oh, in the game, yeah, not
especially.
Well, not dark saber, but the black colored one.
The black colored lightsabers. I always thought that those looked super cool. Who would my master be? Man, that's a really good question. I think that, I mean, Satele Shan would be a good master from Old Republic time. And I think that if I was choosing like a Grand Republic master, I would probably, I mean, as much as Matt hates him, I would probably choose Mace.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
Because Mace just seems like he is going to get the most out of you. Like, he seems like that kind of guy who's like...
He's like a Nick Saban.
Yeah, like he's definitely
not
an
Ryan
asshole.
Day.
Yeah, he's definitely an asshole. He's definitely going to push your buttons. He's definitely going to make things difficult, but he's also going to get the most out of you in your training. So yeah, I would probably pick Mace.
All right. My color, I'll go orange. Why not?
Nice. I like that one too.
My master, I think we were asked something similar before, and I think I'm still going to roll with Qui-Gon Jinn. You know, he just seemed pretty chill. We could sit around, you know, maybe puff, pass after training. He is, you know, he believes in the living force and all that fun stuff. And then who would I want to be my Padawan? Well, of course, I'd want to fuck up Anakin Skywalker's life too. So I would take him. All right, non-Star Wars question. Who is your favorite music artist in recent times, Nick? The past 10 years? Oh boy, this is going to be tough for me.
Well, here, I'll just, like, today is when Spotify Wrapped came out. So my top artist this year was Sleep Token, which is...
yeah, that's right. You're death metal guy.
Well, that's like they're, if you listen to their music, they're not very metally. It's like a British rock band, essentially, like progressive rock band. They're really good. So that would be, I mean, that is my favorite band right now. And I know that thanks to Spotify.
Yeah, dude, I'm an old guy. I don't know what to say. Like, I haven't really added a lot of new bands to my repertoire because, you know, quite frankly, I don't really think we've had a real band since the end of the 90s. This is tough. Jelly Roll. And I fucking hate country. So there you go.
Yeah, I've never listened to his music.
Sometimes his sad music speaks to me. I'm still very anti-country overall, but... he's got a few songs that if I need to feel sad, they do the trick. So
yeah, and I mean, if we're going like my favorite band of all time, I mean, Parkway Drive is up there. That is a metal band. That's an Australian metal band, and then Queen. I love Queen. So yeah, that would be my like two long-term favorites.
Kung Fu's whipping the farm emo down there in the mean streets of West Virginia. That makes sense.
What is that, a band?
I have no idea. I think maybe it's a genre.
Okay.
Yeah, my favorite band of all time, I mean, at least the band I've seen the most in concert would be Dave Matthews Band. So I actually just saw them 2 weeks ago in Columbus. It was awesome. But like music that I mean, I am a product of my parents. My dad was really big in the records. And I can remember sitting there and just reading the album covers from back to back to back of all the Star Wars albums, but more importantly, Pink Floyd. My dad was a huge Pink Floyd guy, so I became a big Pink Floyd guy. I think Roger Waters is a piece of shit, but as a band, they were quite talented, and I kind of liked their creative psychedelic shit. So yeah, Bat, I figured people in my gen, DMB's probably gonna. It was funny, Bat, at the concert we brought our kid. She's 8. It was like all the older people, all the Gen X and older, like, oh, this is so great, you're bringing it here, blah blah. It was nice. We were just around a bunch of old people, and I was one of them this time. It's like shit. Time goes fast. I can remember when I was the 18-year-old at a Dave concert. Now I am the old guy. Okay, 3 more here. We'll get through this. Even though Acolyte was seen as the worst thing ever for Star Wars, what is one thing you really liked from the show? Well, hey, it wasn't at this channel, so yeah. While I agree, some of the characters were kind of underdeveloped, and some of the episodes were a little wonky and slow. Overall, I enjoyed the series, and if I had to pick one thing, it's Kamir. I love that fucking guy. I've got my custom figure from Sir Dork, and he's the one character that really resonated with me. So I'm going Kamir. Nice.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with you. I would think it's Kamir if I had to pick one thing. I really enjoyed the portrayal. I also really enjoyed the lightsaber fights. I think the lightsaber fights in
Boss
Acolyte
are boss level,
like
man.
Some of the best that we've seen since.
Did you see Manny come out this week and kind of take a whiz on people, going like, "Oh yeah, well, we were going to do a lot of Plagueis stuff, maybe season 2, season 3, but I can't say much just in case we get another opportunity."
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty clear that they were setting up some cool Plagueis stuff, and I was excited to see that. I mean, who knows? Maybe in the future we'll be able to revisit that, or that'll be revisited in novels or something like that. But yeah, I mean, I enjoyed the series overall, and I thought that it was pretty.
You know what? I don't know if anyone ever watched The Good Place, or if you watched The Good Place before Acolyte. I'm now watching The Good Place because it showed up on Netflix, and man, Manny Jacinto is the best. He really is a pretty dynamic actor. Like that Jason Mendoza he plays on that show is like a dumb
He's
fuck.
Fucking great.
Yeah, he's like an idiot.
Yeah,
I love it.
It's like when I saw he was going to be in this show, because we had watched all of The Good Place, and I was like, man, I really am interested to see how he plays this character. And the way that he plays it in the beginning is, I wouldn't say similar to Jason from Good Place, but it is more of like a klutzy, like denser character.
Yeah, he's good at like instantly changing who he is. I mean, he can just go from, John Yu, where he didn't talk and he was a pretend monk, to stoner criminal Mendoza. So yeah, I'm digging that. All right, let's get through these so we can start the skeleton crew here. Is Star Wars dying? No. Which fan base is more toxic, Star Wars or Marvel? I only live in this one, but I believe it is Star Wars. It's a more prominent, more tenured franchise, at least on film. I don't even think it's close, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think so too. I don't think it's even close. I think that Star Wars may be the most toxic fan base of anything right now. Yeah. Like in terms of like movie franchises.
All right. Well, holy shit. Baron, we did not watch Survivor Series last Saturday. I was in Ohio State depression. But I did see, Baron, I did see the clip. The ladies were very impressive. That one that put a fucking trash can on her head and did a swanton bomb from the top of a steel cage. Highly impressive. Okay, highly impressive. All right, well, there you go for Ask Us Anything. But now it is time for the meat, for what you all are here for. Oh, I forgot to tell Nick the good news. My fucking review blew up, dude.
Nice.
Like, insane. I haven't looked at the numbers since we went live, but as of like 4 o'clock, we added 60 subs in less than a day. The video's got like 3K positive comments, and it's long. Like I was late. I was freaking out yesterday. It was almost 6 o'clock. Like, I haven't even got this out yet. I'm a fucking loser. No one's gonna watch it anyways. Who cares? And I put it out. I wake up this morning, I'm like, holy shit, something happened. So hey, thank you, Google algorithm, YouTube algorithm. What did I do? Please tell me, because it's the same shit I put out for every new Star Wars property, but I guess I shouldn't bitch and moan. We're finally getting a return. You know what I mean?
I hope that we're right, and I hope that things are positive out in the ecosystem for Skeleton Crew, because I really do think that the show is super fun. Like, this was one where
just get into it, brother. Get right into your review. Go ahead.
Yeah, like, this was one before I watched the first episode. Usually I don't watch any Star Wars shows with Taylor. I just, like, the only one that we watched all the way through together was Acolyte. And she enjoyed it, and she was upset that it didn't get renewed. But I was like, hey, let me just see if she would be interested in watching this one. And she was like, yeah, I'll check it out. We watched the trailer. I was like, it's definitely like more of like a fun type of show. Like, it's not going to be super serious like Acolyte was. It's going to be like more similar to Solo is kind of how I put it. It'll be like way more of like a fun jaunt around the galaxy. We watched the first episode, which is the longer one. And she was like, yeah, I enjoyed it. And then we watched the second episode together. So I think it's a great show. It's very fun. It's not too heavy. It has that like comedic sense to it that feels like Goonies or even like Disney. Like, this is the first one to me, and I'm not saying this in a negative connotation, where it feels like a Disney Star Wars show, because it is more kid friendly. It is like, kids are the main character, and like they do it in a way, like this show was made in a way where like you can be a kid and watch this and it's super enjoyable, and you can be an adult and watch this and it's super enjoyable. So I was a big fan. I'm really excited to see where things go forward into this show, because I think that there's so many options now that like the kids have the ship, and you know, Jude Law's character is hooked up with them. They're making their way off of this pirate stronghold. Like, I think there's a lot of good to come out of this show, and that's still ahead for it. So I was a really big fan.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I always do the long-winded review. Would love for you to check it out. This one actually gets some heat, so dive in if you've got 16 minutes of your life to light on fire. But like Nick, I found it to be pretty damn great. I'm not going to lie, I found the first episode, maybe the middle of it, because I watched it again last night with the family. I thought the first episode, it had like a little bit of a drag. You know, it was, I could even see it in my kid yesterday. She was engaged early when we had the early pirate attack, and then meeting the kids. But right in the middle, you know, before they make it to the Onyx Cinder, it slows a bit. Okay, I'm not saying it gets boring. It just drags a bit, not in a bad way, but you can feel it. But once they get to the ship and all those hijinks kick in, and then we get into the shortened episode 2, man, like you can. I think what I appreciate the most, Nick, is that in just 2 short episodes, you know, 70 minutes of content, it has been made crystal clear what the motivations are for all the main characters, which has been a knock on recent Star Wars, specifically Acolyte. Like, I don't know why they want to do what they do. It's clear now. I mean, each kid has a clear motivation. SM-33, clear motivation. Pirates, clear motivation. Jotting on the Wood, clear motivation. It's beautiful. I also love, being right. I think we kick some ass again in some of our speculations, if I might say. I mean, who's the one that said that the planet is probably going to be the actual star of the show? That was me. So I want my fucking trophies either on the stream or emailed or sent USPS. All the aliens, of course, we were begging for that. We already got it. I mean, Port Borgo, for Christ's sake, that is one of the greatest Star Wars locations I've ever seen, cool. Man. I mean, it was like Chalum's Cantina on Juice, you know? I mean, blue aliens, this alien, Ishii Tibbs. I mean, it was wild. I just loved it. And everything's practical in this show.
Yeah. I mean, that was another thing that I called out, like, to Taylor. I was like, I love how everything is practical. Like the aliens are practical. Yes. Everything is. Yeah,
everyone's in a fucking costume. It's brilliant. I mean, Neil, look at Neil. They jammed a little kid into that thing.
I know. It's crazy.
Fantastic.
It looks so good. It's so cool looking.
I mean, just, the show's visuals, the practicality of it, the sets. I mean, even when they were shooting on location at ATTIN, I mean, some of those shots John Watts got in episode 1, specifically when Neil and Wim are walking through the forest and you got the sun, beautiful. Or when the kids are about to enter the hole and it's dark and they got their hover bike lights lighting them up and you get their silhouettes. I mean, the show is just beautiful. And let's not forget to mention the music. I mean, Michael Giacchino or Giacano, however you say it, his son Mick, hey, The apple doesn't fall far from that tree. I'm okay with a little nepotism when we get that type of music. I mean, we're going to talk about it in more detail. He did cheat a little bit at the end and sprinkled in some John Williams that I'm sure you heard it. I don't know if it got you all worked up or made you go, oh, there it is. I love that song. It makes me sad. But yeah, I found the music good. The kid cast, I mean, yes, we got their motivations, but the kids actually got to be able to act so we can believe in him. And Nick, I think they did a fucking good job.
Yeah. I mean, Fern, the girl who played Fern just absolutely crushed it. Like, she was such a good casting for that character. Like, she seems so natural in the leadership role, and especially like, you know, bossing the kids around and like being the one that like steps up in front of the pirates and is like, this is my ship. You got a problem with it? Like, I just love how she played that character. And I think that Neil was my, if I had to pick two favorites, it's Neil and it's Fern.
I love when Neil had to like walk up on his driveway ledge and then jump down, seeing his little legs walk up to the family. And it's clear now that they're not Ortolans. I mean, if you saw his family, his dad's got fucking tusks, and his no, they literally are elephant people. So they are not related to Max Rebo, unfortunately. But my God, that Neil's family, I only remember Tulu. That's the little one that pointed up to Wim like, yeah, he's taking a bath. They're fantastic. I really do think the Neils stole the show. So, I mean, listen, it was a winner. I really think, and listen, I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, it's so great that the trolls don't hate it, because who gives a fuck what they think? All right, I've never let them really drive my own love or how I process new Star Wars. Yes, I will fall prey to commenting on their idiocy, but I don't really care what they think. It is nice as a creator and a fan to not have to worry about waking up every day and getting death threats for liking Star Wars. So that should be nice. But it was a great start. I think it's everything we thought it was going to be, if not more. It's definitely Star Wars Goonies, Pirates of the Caribbean. All had a baby, and Skeleton Crew came out. And Nick, I think the best thing is the way they've woven in the mysteries. Yeah. You know, because, I mean, as soon as it ended, I'm like, oh, well, I need more on ATTIN. I need more on Jadna in the Wood. I need more on why the fucking Onyx Cinder was on this supposedly lost mythical planet, buried on top of itself for, at this point, Nick, I think we got to say thousands of years.
Thousands of years, right? For sure. Thousands of years.
So how did those pirates know to find the place?
Dude, it's nuts too, because, I mean, there's so many, like you said, there's so many things, like the way that they reacted to the old Republic credits, and that going back to ATTIN, like, why are they using that money on that planet? Why is this barrier so important? They're like
time capsuled, man. It's like they've been trapped in time. They don't know what's happening in the outside galaxy.
Dude, Taylor mentioned something to me, and when we were watching it, and she was like, "What if I can't remember the exact comparison it was, but the comparison was like, what if this is like Divergent?" And basically what Divergent was is that there was the society that Divergent was set in, but it was a test society that like the larger world had put together to test these
the great work.
Yeah, like, so is this some sort of like test society that has been set up by
I love that you went here, Nick, because hold on. We're on the right path. Damn it. Did I not include the screenshot? Oh no. Yeah, I did. Okay, here we go. All right, let's just riff on this. If you're new here, we tend to give a brief review of new Star Wars. Then we'll get into top moments in eggs, and then things we call huhs. And I'd say right now we're jumping right into a huh. But Nick, and I wish I could pull in here. But when Fern gets to her house, I was right there too. Look, her mother is a bureaucrat. Thank you, everyone. You can send your donations at your earliest convenience. But if you walk into her house, Nick, and you look at this mural, I think you're spot on. Because look at the races that are represented. Humanoids, Neil's race, Ithorians like we saw on there, Runa's race, and I believe they even had Rhodians. And they're all like kind of kneeling down and looking up at this she almost looks like Mother Mary, and there's like this
Yeah.
star thing in the sky. But I was thinking something similar. Is this a planet where they're like they took all these races and they're like, these are the only races that can be here. We're going to try and experiment. They're essentially communists, right? I mean, the aptitude test, the career readiness, that's the, hey, you're a fucking data guy. Hey, you're a rocket guy. I mean, that's communism.
Yeah. And I mean, like communism in a very, like communism at its core, not like Russian communism.
Right. It's you don't have free will to choose what you want to do, but you're also, it doesn't look like everyone has to farm a patch of bread or rice and that type of shit.
Yeah.
But it's like they took all these different races, made them feel like they were all supposed to be together. Because here's one interesting thing. I don't know if people picked up on this. Neil himself, on Port Borgo goes, man, look at all the aliens.
Yeah.
He's a fucking alien. But because they've been on this quarantine world with just these species that are allowed there, like Nick is saying, they don't know any better. They feel like they're all ATTINs. Neil's not an alien. The Ithorians aren't alien to them. They're ATTINs. They're the people they know. They're just, some are human, some are elephants, some are Ithorians, Rhodians, whatever the hell Runa is. So I think Taylor is definitely onto something. This planet is locked down for a reason, and they are doing weird shit here. Like, how do you make a planet hidden in the galaxy, and why do you hide it? You know what I mean?
I know. I mean, it kind of goes back to, Attack of the Clones, right? When Kamino was just all of a sudden off of the star charts. Like, was this an experiment that was set up by the Jedi, like way like before the fall of the Republic? And then after the fall of the Republic, because there was nobody who was aware of it other than the Jedi, this planet just kept running on its own. Like, they knew the systems that were set up. They knew how everything was supposed to go. They governed themselves. They didn't have to worry about incoming and outgoing ships because the ship is off of the hyperspace route. There's also a barrier to prevent people from coming and going. Like, there's so many questions just around like what the fuck is going on with this planet.
They essentially have a Wizard of Oz figure, the supervisor, right?
Yeah.
Hey, we got the supervisor. We got run by like what the fuck is that? The supervisor, it's safety droids, forbidden forests. I mean, what is going on ATTIN? Clearly, its myth is real, and maybe that's why it's locked down. But how did those initial pirates? How did Smee's crew? I'm surprised it took us this long to figure out that SM-33 was
it was Smee.
Stood for Smee. But how did they find it? And why did they crash? What happened? How long were they there? Did anyone, I was kind of postulating, Nick, what if some of the crew did make it off and they did find the treasure and they're the ones that set up this barrier so no one else could get their eternal treasure of the lost planet? Because clearly ATTIN is a myth now. It's a legend. That's how long it has...
Treasure planet.
That's how long it's been gone. So I do think, you and I were him-hawing on, is it Old Republic or maybe they were just talking High Republic? I don't think there's any question now. We're talking thousands and thousands of years. I mean, for people to consider something as a legend or a myth, it's got to be a long, long time for that to develop, right? Myths are started by telling stories, and then the stories change over time. They get more grandiose, or the winner controls the narrative type of stuff. But what if it was the initial batch of pirates that took over the planet? What if there really is something going on in the mines, and that's why it's all locked down? What if it isn't? What if it isn't just Fern fucking with the kids, and there is some truth to these mines and why there are forbidden forests, and why there are safety droids making sure you stay on your track? Did you notice even the roads in ATTIN have rails? You can't even go where you want. You're on a fucking rail car. Everything is controlled.
And the craziest part is when Wim's father is out there and sees the ship take off, and then the droids come out and he's like, my son just took off in a ship. They're confused. They're like, what are you talking about?
Ships don't work here.
Yeah. Yes. It's like they didn't have a response appropriate for it because they're like, well, no ships come and go from here. It's not possible. There's so much to uncover about this planet. I love how the seeds were planted. I love how we've had the hints at it now from the pirates, like, you're not from there, like that's not even,
I love
like,
that.
it's not real, it's a myth, blah blah blah. Like, yeah, it's great.
Such a great way to add to the mystery for the viewer, because you're like, all right, ATTIN's a thing, looks like a great normal society, almost Earth-like, and then they leave, and we realize, like, oh shit. I mean, it's at the end of the episode when they break the barrier and they go, what are those? I was like, oh fuck.
Yes, they've never even seen
Like,
stars.
This is a very, very controlled society. Planet.
Yeah.
Like, it's a very controlled planet. And clearly the barrier is just there to cloak the planet. It's not keeping anything in. I mean, they zipped right through it. So it's got to be some sort of orbital cloak. I love it. I mean, because here we go. Look at us. We were barely into the review, and we're sitting here like, yep. Speculation, blah, 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 theory. That's fucking good Star Wars, my friends. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, let's. I'm going to try to refocus us so we can get through moments and eggs, and then hammer on the ha's and theory throughout here. So there was a ton of eggs. So let's start with the top moments, and then we'll get to the eggs here. Nick, I'll tell you what, man. I mean, a child of the 80s, growing up before their screens were prevalent. Hell, even before video games were prevalent. Handhelds, this, that, and the other thing. Us kids of the 80s, 90s, and I even got yelled at from you Gen Zers in the early 2000s. We had to use our imaginations, okay? We had to go outside, get on our bikes, play with friends, dick around, go down to the woods. Like Wim once, find adventures. So to me, man, as soon as it cuts away from the pirate heist, which was a great opening, I love that, the way it mirrored A New Hope. But as soon as they cut away and the first shot of Wim is him playing with his Sith and Jedi figures and making the sound effects, and then it carries on to him with his little ship flying to the bus stop, and then how can you not just sit there and go, fuck, I wish I was a kid again, when you're watching Neil and Wim enact a lightsaber duel complete with dismemberment and disembowelment.
Yeah, it was so great. I mean, and it goes to show you too, like, there is lore on this. It's not like there's no information coming or going, right? Because, like, you see when in Wim's little like notepad or his little
story
data
pad,
pad,
according to the credit or the closed captions.
Yeah, the story pad, that, like, there are images, like there was an image that was like looked like Luke Skywalker standing next to a Rancor.
What? It's not. Like, these are old Republic Jedi.
These are old. Okay,
if you look at them all, Nick, I'll send you a Twitter link. Star Wars Explained, by the way, translated every screen, and we have that. Okay. Gotcha. But it's definitely Old Republic, because you'll see the Jedi. I mean, they've got like purple lightsabers, this, that, and the other thing. So I'm putting it out there. I don't think anyone on ATTIN even knows that the Old Republic fell and turned into the High Republic, and then turned into the Grand Republic, and then Galactic Republic, and then turned into the Empire, and now the New Republic. I don't think they know any of that shit happened.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. I mean, the only people that may know are like
the controllers, supervisor,
exactly.
the supervisor. Yeah. Maybe Farrah, the undersecretary. They just don't know. They don't know what is going on. That's what I mean. They're a planet trapped in time, but not like stuck in the past. Does that make sense? Like they're trapped in what they are given to know. They're very controlled. Like it is very Oz-like. They only know what the supervisor wants them to know. They only can do what the test tells them they can do. So these people living on ATTIN for, I mean, we could say at this point, thousands and thousands of years, they have no clue what's been happening in the galaxy. But you are right. They do know about the Jedi. They know about the Republic. Remember, Farrah says Republic, not New Republic. And the fact they're talking about the Great Work, I actually looked that up. I guess Great Work started in the High Republic era, or there were Great Works. Starlight Beacon was a Great Work. The comm relays, back to cultivation. And the Great Work, to me, it's to make society better, more peaceful, eliminate disorder. And it's almost like ATTIN, piggybacking off of what Taylor was spitting and kind of what I was talking with the mural. It does feel like it's this controlled experiment planet. I think it's that. I think it's being controlled because of its resources and whatever this eternal treasure is. I mean, dude, we could be here till 10 o'clock, so we'll keep moving along. But I love that Wim playing, and really the lightsaber duel, Neil especially, when before they could even end it, he's like, oh shit, I think I got something in my eye. And then all the kids on the other side of the street, they're like, what are you losers doing? And I could relate to these people. Okay, another top moment I had here from the premiere episodes, and honestly, it's some of you might be like, whatever, dude, but I really like the ship takeoff. I mean, outside of the hijinks with the kids and crawling out the outside and seeing the ship kind of rewrite itself, I just thought visually it was awesome. Watching that behemoth literally rise the earth like a sleeping giant, seeing that it was indeed on its back, so it probably did crash land, but why? And did anyone get out? And it was a cool little action scene, visual scene, and it was the scene that kind of leads us into where we wanted to go, and that is off at ATTIN to start to learn more about, hey, what is going on here, and what are these kids going to go through to get back now to what the galaxy at large considers to be a lost mythical planet. So I like the Onyx Cinder kind of getting fired up. Wim fucking up again and kind of couldn't help. I love that, dude. He puts on the headset from the chair hanging upside, and you could just see it. That's what I mean. I think Robbie did a great job. You could see the turmoil in his face, like, I know I shouldn't touch this, but fuck, like, it's a blinking green button, dude. I got to do it. And then
he hits it and he just runs away. He's like, I didn't do it. I didn't hit anything.
It was so good, man. So I did like the ship takeoff. And why do you think it crashed on its back? I mean, it was flat on its back, dude.
Yeah, I mean, it had to. I mean, the thing is like the ship doesn't look like it was damaged, or like it didn't look like it was in a battle. I'll say that. Like all the engines started. Like the ship was able to take off with no issue. So maybe, I don't know. Maybe they had to pull a crash landing maneuver on this planet because they were being chased down or something. Like maybe there was like a malfunction, or clearly there was some sort of mutiny on the ship, because you saw like the skeletons, both of them were driven onto a sword. So like this stuff really... it could have been that there was just a mutiny on the ship that caused it to go down, not any sort of outside factors. And then because there was nobody helming the ship as it crashed, it just kind of rolled when it came in.
And then the other thing, it's like, I know there's a brief mention when they first see SM, and he had like the lever. I don't know if it was the door hatch or whatever, but they thought it like killed him. It's like, well, what was he doing? Why did he sacrifice himself out to potentially lock the hatch, or... what happened there? Like, I don't know.
Like,
I mean,
were they being boarded by a different pirate crew?
Exactly.
Like, what was going on? Yeah.
So it does seem. Who knows? Maybe when the Cinder found this planet, it wasn't lost, or maybe it was still a lost planet. In the barrier, if ships come in, it can essentially give you like I guess in Star Wars world they'd call it an ion pulse, but think like an EMP blast, where as soon as they cross that barrier, all their electrical systems just die. And they just, they come down and crash, and literally they crashed, and that was it. That ship stayed there, and the ATTIN Earth just overtook it.
Yeah, it just like it seemed like nobody came to look for it. Like nobody. Yeah, so like it just. Yeah, I don't know.
So there was a pirate crew that figured out the secret. The problem is that it looks like they all died.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, moving into episode 2, some of the top moments there, and they're kind of dominated by a singular character, because I was kind of taken by this dude. I loved SM33's intro. I think Nick Frost is doing a great job giving him a robot pirate voice, his programming as a first mate, and how Fern tricks him, and he's like, I gotta do everything around here. He starts dragging Wim away as a stowaway. And he's practical. I mean, he's a big fucking puppet. You gotta love too, and he moves that way. But I think it's perfect for him, because he is a peg leg droid, and I like that he kind of walks like a zombie in that intro when he's walking through the hall and coming through the red light and smoke, and then, like I said, Fern tricking him and him being like, "All right, yeah, fuck it, she got me. She's the captain. Let's roll. What do you want me to do with the stowaways?" And then he just follows it up into, I loved when he tries to teach them the ship systems, and he's just like, bing, 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 bing. And they're like, all right. But KB, our Lobot, she's like, don't worry, I got it. So I was a huge fan of SM-33, loved his introduction, and then loved how it kind of played into him speedily trying to teach young kids how to pilot a starship, which, Nick, you got to argue this is the first time they've ever seen a starship that isn't on a story pad, right?
100%. Yeah. Like,
they don't,
there's no
ATTIN
way
doesn't have
that,
a port, so it's like...
Yeah. Like, there's no way that any of them know how to pilot that ship. And the fact that they got to the port is only because they had the autopilot navigation in there.
Did you pick up when Bruce was like, how the fuck did they get here? And why didn't the turrets blast them? Well, the Cinder clearly has an ID code that allows it to go to that shadow port.
It is 100% cleared to go there.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows how long that port has been there? I mean, could be tens of thousands of years. Like we'll get into it.
It definitely is. Nick, it may go as far back as the Rakutans.
Yeah. So there you go.
So yeah, I mean, love Port Borgo. More on that in a bit. So yeah, I loved SM-33's intro, and then of course, when they make it to Port Borgo. And the boys kind of get them in trouble by whipping out the Old Republic credits. Who shows up to protect his diminutive captain? SM-33.
SM-33.
And he did like the Henry Cavill fucking lock and pop, rolls up. No one's even, they're like laughing at him because he's all raggedy. I mean, look, dude's got cables hanging out of his head. He's got cables hanging off his back. God knows what those plug into. But he proceeds to kick the living shit out of people. And you had to love when they start shooting him and he pulls out those forearm shields.
Yeah, like
holy shit.
Yeah.
I mean, this dude's like an MMA pro. I mean, he's blocking all the shots. He gets his shield so hot from blaster fire, he burns the Warthog guy. I mean, he was impressive to watch. So
100%.
SM-33 definitely dominating top moments for episode 2. But really the big one, not going to lie, I saw Will of the Force said this. I don't know if he's still on the stream. But I'm like him, man. It's very Pavlovian for me. Whenever I hear that fucking Force theme motif, we could be watching someone take a shit, Nick, and I think I would get the feels. And it's the kind. It's like Leo's character in that shit in Tarantino's latest movie, the meme where Leo's in the yellow shirt pointing. Yeah. I did it, man. Like I saw when Jod raised his hand and the key starts to move and Mick starts a theme and I'm like, okay, I think he's going to go there. And then sure enough, once it crosses the bars, he hits it. Like he just fully brings in John Williams' Force theme. And it's impossible for me to not go, oh, Luke and the Twin Sons, Rey on Star Killer Base. I love Star Wars. I love you, Jod. So I guess the question is to you, while that was awesome, does Jod actually have the Force? Was this staged? Why did he wait to have cellmates to finally use it? Fill me in.
So I was thinking about this. I mean, maybe we'll talk about this later, but he's clearly, I think that he does have the Force. Because unless he had a super powerful magnet hidden on him, it's really hard to pull something like that off. I would be happy to find out that he didn't use the Force and that he really did set that up. But I think the reason that he waited for other cellmates to be with him is because if he would have broken out on his own,
no way of getting off.
Yeah, it's like, what is he going to do? Like,
because you notice he sat there and listened to them before he made himself known. Like he heard that they got a ship. They're from ATTIN, which he probably knows the legend of. Because, by the way, people, I think there's a 1% chance I could be wrong, but we're looking at Captain Silvo right here, the guy.
Oh yeah, that's what. Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
like,
they made it so obvious when even with the helmet on when he's walking. I mean, he walks like Jude Law, he talks like Jude Law, and he acts like Jude Law.
Yeah. So that's 100% him.
So could this be a huge setup? I think
that's what it was. That's what it is. Like
Jude's still working with the pirates to try to figure out if these kids are full of shit and they actually do know about ATTIN. Like that's where I'm going.
See, I looked at it as a setup of like he's definitely just using these kids to get to this ship and then get to ATTIN.
Okay.
I don't know.
You don't think he's doing it for the pirates at large, I guess, is what I was asking.
I don't think so. Like, given the way that they were talking to, like, it was very Jack Sparrow and the crew of the Black Pearl in the very beginning of the show, when he's like, oh yeah, we're finally gonna get our take. Like, all the pirates.
Yeah, it sounds like he was jerking them around for a few missions before this one.
They were. Yeah, I would say they were already super down on him, and they were like, this better be the score that we've been talking about. And then it wasn't, and it seemed like that they were fucking done with him. They were like, all right, buddy, like we're gonna toss your ass in the fucking brig on Borgo. We're never letting you out. Like, you're just done. And then his ship gets taken over by somebody else. So like I don't think fucking that he's
Brutus,
in league with
dude.
them.
Brutus is a pimp.
Yeah, Brutus looks awesome. I love the design of Brutus. And again, like the practical
it works. Who cares?
So
it looks better than CG, man. Fuck it.
Yeah, dude. I love it.
Brutus's entrance though, man, peak. I mean, he just walks in, pulls out his revolver. He's like, looks sideways. Ba 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 ba. All right, Captain Silvo, you're free to come aboard. So beautiful stuff. Yeah, I mean, I can buy that. I like that. I think you are right. I think he was waiting. He obviously had no way off, no ship. You're not going anywhere from Port Borgo unless you have a vessel.
And everybody knows who he is.
Of course.
So it's like even if he broke out, if anybody saw him, they'd be like, "Get this fucker back in the jail cell." Like,
so I do. Yeah. I am with you. I think right now in that cell, in his mind, he's going, "These fuckers are going to get me out of here. They got a ship." And they're talking about the lost planet of eternal treasure. And considering he mixed himself in with pirates for whatever reason, if he's a Force user, he clearly knows what that lore is about, that myth is about. He wants to get there himself, kind of like what you and I were talking about. Everyone's going to be headed towards some treasure. We now know it's at ATTIN. But what is it? Is it a resource? Is it just loot? Are they relics? Is it a power source? So, you know, the pirates, they probably want to get there because they think it's traditional loot. Someone like Jod, though, he may know even more, especially if he is a Jedi. And listen to me here, Nick. Think about Baylan Skoll's mission with Peridia. Kind of similar here. If Jude was a Jedi or Force user, hell, he's a person in the galaxy. He probably heard about the myth, the legend of ATTIN, and it probably piqued his interest. And he always wondered if it was real. Like Baylan told us, every youngling heard the legend of Peridia. But when he realized that it could be a real thing and he made it there, he's like, holy shit, I'm going to realize my dream here. I'm going to get this power that was promised on Peridia. The Mortis gods that we now know. It could be something similar with Jod where he knows ATTIN is special. He may actually know why. He may know what the eternal treasure is. And it probably is more than just credits.
Yeah, I mean, he is definitely the Jack Sparrow character of this show. Like, Jack Sparrow knew what he would like. Jack Sparrow always knew what he was looking for, but nobody ever believed him that it existed or that he could get to it until he did. And I think that's the same angle that they're trying to go at with Jodna and, you know, in his character and like how he's treating ATTIN and everything like that. So I do think that he has way more knowledge about the planet than your standard pirate does, especially Brutus or Vane or either one of them. And that's why he's like, look, you can lock me up, but as soon as I get out of it, if I can get the right information, I can crack open this ATTIN thing for myself. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then I don't have to share anything with you guys.
Yeah. So I think Bat said it here in the live stream chat, and I think you believe this too. But at this point in time, his intentions, I don't want to say sinister, but they're not on the up and up with the kids.
Selfish for sure.
Yeah,
selfish for sure.
But there's a good chance, and he probably will try to screw him. But there's a good chance by the end of this, he's gonna do the right thing. He's gonna do the Han Solo coming back to clear the path for his buddy Luke.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think the kids are going to grow on him. I think that he's going to, as what happened with Jack Sparrow, with Elizabeth and Will, like, he's just like, yeah, I was a shitty pirate, but like, these are actually people that I like, and I'm gonna do my best to help them. I think that he's gonna like that. That will be similar for Jadna.
And here's my other theory on this guy and his Jedi abilities. And we've teased this before, and I know no one will give us credit because I saw people starting to run with it. No one mentioned that we were the only one talking about this. But remember how I found Jedi Nina Nawood?
Yes, his sister, potentially his sister. Yeah,
I think it's going to be his mom. I think his mom. Okay, I think his mom was a Jedi during the bad times and probably hid him and trained him minimally how to use some powers.
That makes more sense to me because I know we were trying to we were figuring out well, how old if he was a youngling during the Grand Republic, how far would that be out from here? Does that line up, or is he too young? And I feel like it being his mom, Nina being his mom, makes more sense. And then just stealth training him or just teaching him at least
on the run. I'm assuming they were probably hiding out, and I've heard it might be, and you're gonna hate this, but it might be Tatooine. We might be going to Tatooine in another Disney Star Wars show, Nick.
It seems like Tatooine is just the nexus point of everything in Star Wars. I don't know why.
Yeah,
I don't know why. But it does seem like Tatooine is just this nexus point of activity and things happening.
So mark it down, fandos. I'm calling it right here. I think Jadna has at least been trained by his mother, who was a Jedi. I don't think Jadna himself was Jedi proper. I do think his mother tried her best to get him trained up. Because, we are like, oh, why would a Jedi become a pirate? I don't know. Why would a Jedi become a mercenary like Baylan Skoll? You don't fucking know what these people are doing after the fall of the Order. So it's not a far reach to think that a Force user on the light side could do some shady shit. I mean, Baylan is probably even worse than Jadna. Although Jadna had a guy thrown out of an airlock, so there is that. But all right.
Yeah.
That's what I mean, man. We got 3 core mysteries for this series, and I love every one of them because there's enough breadcrumbs to start pointing fingers and spitting hot air, but I truly think this is one where we're not going to know until the very last moment. It's going to be like, holy shit, this is what it's been all about. This is what we're doing here. And I'm excited for that. Okay, so those are our top moments here. Let's get into the Easter eggs because they were bountiful and I actually think very well done. Not in your face, like cheap gimmicky shit. And the first one I thought was really cool. A great nod to both the New Republic live action universe in the opening crawl, which is in the same style as the Ahsoka series. So that kind of seems to be a thing now, Nick. But more importantly, that John Watts is like, you know what? Fuck it. We're going to do this the way George would open his movies.
I loved every second of it.
The planet, the pan down, large ship coming in the frame, even larger ship coming in the frame. When the freighter people were running around, they looked just like the rebel soldiers on the Tantive 4. You could hear the clanking. You could see the fear in their eyes, not knowing what was going to blast through their hull. And then, hell, they took it even further. You can argue that Silvo interrogating the captain was a direct parallel of Vader interrogating Antilles. And it was even the same type of subject. You know, Vader's like, you're not on a fucking diplomatic mission, you assholes. And Silvo's like, this bullshit, this is just a bulk freighter. You don't have a magnetically sealed vault on a bulk freighter. I just, that to me shows that these people know Star Wars. They know how to honor it in a correct way, and a not in your face way, in a subtle way. But that's what Star Wars is. It's all about parallels throughout the generations. So John Watts directed that episode. Kudos on the opening, because paying homage to A New Hope's opening was brilliant.
Yeah, it was fantastic, dude. I loved the opening of it so much. Like you said, it's just like the first 5 minutes of the show is just like, we're just doing A New Hope in this show and we're giving it our own flavor. Yeah. Like it had a little bit of pirate flavor to it because the pirates are boarding the ship coming through. It was just like, you could even see them like shooting across like wires and being in suits going across. Yeah, dude,
the guys that got dispatched to kill the outside turrets, you know, they just shoot over there, they stick a grenade on and they jump off. I mean, yeah. It was awesome. I mean, it was great. It was a great way to start this.
It's fantastic.
I think it was the right way to start this show. I mean, I think if you start with the whim scene right there, you may lose some people. You know what I mean? Like, this was a great way to be like, oh fuck, this show is about pirates. All right, let's go. It's not just going to be kitty.
Yeah, no, it was a great opening. I loved it. All right,
so yeah, I mean, just all sorts of references there in the opening. Brutus, we talked about him, his species, and I know I'm not going to say this right. I'm surprised George went with this. The Schistavanin.
I think that's right.
Yeah,
I think that's how I would say.
If you remember, we had some of those in Challenge Cantina. So here we go.
Mm-hmm.
This one, I don't know. I mean, this might be a little too deep for some people. Brutus betrays his leader, et tu Brutus, Julius Caesar, right? There you go.
That's a good call,
right?
Dude. I honestly, I did not connect that until you just said it, but yeah, that makes total sense. Why
else name a wolf man Brutus? You know what I mean?
True.
All right, next one we had the, obviously we talked about this, Wim playing with his Jedi and Sith toys, and they were actually called Jedi and Sith toys if you had the closed caption on, so that was pretty cool. The toy sabers moment we talked about, that was probably one of my favorite moments of Star Wars ever. I was like, that was me. That was me. I did that shit. I used to walk around my house with my Kenner X-Wing on, zoo, zoo, and I whip out my Kenner lightsaber, wing, wing, wing. I mean, just fuck, nostalgia owns in this show. The bus driver, Nick, you probably, the bus driver probably looked familiar to you, even though they're sticking gum on the back of her head, but that's an RXD4 droid or RX-24 droid, just like Rex from Star Tours, who now moonlights as a DJ in Olga's.
Also, the chimes to get on and off the bus are the exact same as they are to get on and off the Star Tours ride.
Oh, look at it coming in with a fucking reference. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had no clue. I mean, that's definitely your area of expertise, no doubt about it.
Yeah. Those little chimes, that da-da-da-da-da. Like, that's straight from Star Tours. So, a lot of stuff from the bus is straight from the Star Tours ride.
What is going on? I have a feeling one of the streams crashed. No. They're all right. For some reason, our it doesn't really matter. My the chat is not coming in from the vertical stream. Oh well. Okay. Next egg here we had all right, the Jedi storybooks. Let's talk about this for a second, because like I said, Star Wars Explained did translate these. And the reason they're in this list because we have Jedi. But if you want to check it out, I'm not going to really read through them all, but Star Wars Explained over on Twitter, I'll blast it into our chats here on the live stream, so it'll be saved for posterity. But they went through and translated all these. So there's two stories. There's one about Lena, and that's kind of the screen you guys are looking at now. That's Lena fighting a Sith Lord. And then the main story is about this character named Druin. So, we got to see Wim flipping through. Druin packed his bags with everything he might need and set off on an adventure. He came to a forest, and there's this, axe in the ground from the wood chopper, yada, yada, yada. And it eventually takes it to the screen we see, with him fighting what looks like a Rancor. But it also goes into talking about how the Jedi Knights decide to build their temple. They used the Force to build it. They could sink it as a defense mechanism, and then just kind of goes into how the Jedi were the protectors of the galaxy.
Well, and that also, doesn't that reference Fallen Order? Because wasn't one of the Zepho temples that you had to find?
Yeah, and that's a Zepho temple. But Nick, in Star Wars Rebels on Lothal, the Jedi Temple could sink or be raised. So it's a thing for sure. I see you're there, Bat. For some reason, the vertical chat's not coming in. We'll see what's going on there. Who knows? Now it's saying connected again. Nick and I have been talking about this. We can't put our finger on what the hell is going on with YouTube these days. Like, it's not us. The shit just like fucking randomly bombs out for people here or there, but who knows? We'll see what happens. Anyways, if you're in the vertical chat and you're not getting any action, maybe jump over to horizontal and we'll try to get to you there. All right, another one here. The Etch-a-Sketch Jedi, right? When he's sitting in class.
I love that.
Fair rolls by. You can tell he's not paying attention to jack shit. Probably this is what I was doing, except I'd be in a notebook wiping my earwax on it or drawing smiley faces. But even my kid, Nick, she's sitting there before you can even see the screen. She's like, "Dude, that's like an Etch-a-Sketch." I was like, "That's why you're my kid, motherfucker." But yeah, I mean, he's drawing himself a Jedi. So Wim clearly a Jedi homer. And Nick, I think while we're moving on to our next moment, I think that's some of the fun of this show is that Wim, Neil, like us, they're fans of the Force, of the Jedi.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They collect toys about them. They want to be them. So I think that's another really key factor about why this show is, I think, hitting so hard with a lot of people.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
I mentioned this briefly, and I'll go over it again just in case no one was listening, which I'm used to. But when Fair is talking about the great work, I was like, okay, that's too specific, because even in the captions, it was capital G, great, capital W. Like it's like almost like the Renaissance period or the Industrial Revolution. Like it's that grand. It's meant to be something great, as she said, to bring peace to our republic or to keep our republic great. But so I looked this up and I'm like, what the fuck is a great work? And sure enough, at least during the High Republic era, Chancellor Lena So initiated the great works. And I went through them earlier. That was Starlight, the Republic Fair, comms relays, back to cultivation. So it does to me, Nick, it kind of feels like the great work, and who knows what they're doing on ATTIN, but in general, it's kind of like a Renaissance thing where we're trying to move on from the Dark Ages to become more enlightened, you think?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so. And this is what kind of still leaves this mystery open. Like when did this ship crash? It seems like the ship is probably older than like what is the current society on ATTIN, I'll say. So it almost feels like the ship crash may have happened during actual Old Republic, and then the society on ATTIN may have been set up in the High Republic because of that Great Works thing. And then like people like these pirates seeing these credits that the kids have and referring to them as Old Republic credits. Like,
well, Nick, they also said, how did you get an Old Republic in such good condition?
In such good condition. Yeah. Like it's just, it's hard to pin down the time period, right? Still, I mean, we're only 2 episodes in, so we're not supposed to be able to pin it down.
I'll
yet,
give you something, but I think you're onto something, because remember we read from the creators, Ford and Watt, all they gave us before going into 1 and 2. ATTIN was a gem of the Old Republic.
Yeah.
So I don't know, what does that mean? It was a gem because it is this lost planet of eternal treasure, or was it this enlightened society? Yeah. But like you're saying, I mean, I like that too, because great work, from what I could find in my research, is only related to the High Republic era.
Yeah. And like the Old Republic era was so rife with shit, with just war and everything going on, that like they didn't really have those types of initiatives. Like you would see recruiting posters all over the place, like join the war effort and stuff like that. So this great work that they're talking about doesn't seem to jive with what was happening in like what we know as the Old Republic period, but does jive with the High Republic period. So I am like, again, it just adds to the mystery of ATTIN. I know, dude. Like, I'm just what is,
as you're talking, my wheels is, and that's why I've been a shithead a few times cutting you off. I can't help it. It's just like, I mean, the fucking hamsters are in there going Star Wars theories, Star Wars theories, Star Wars theories. What if
League is saying, starting to sound like Divergent, like Taylor said.
Yeah,
Taylor was
100%.
Like, this sounds like Divergent.
we're gonna have to create another fucking video box and get Taylor on the show for the next 6 weeks to break.
Just tell me.
She can hold down, Nick. She can hold down Christmas and New Year's week for us. We'll let her have the airtime all by herself.
Yeah, exactly. A solo show.
What if it? Truly it was a gem of an Old Republic, but by the time, like you said, maybe shit was getting squirrely, or they're like, oh crap, pirates found this place. And then that's when, in the High Republic era, which would have touched the end of the Old Republic, right? I mean, the Old Republic turned in the High Republic.
I mean, kind
But
of.
we're
It's a
talking
little
10,000 years
squirrely.
into something, though, right?
Yeah, I would say it's kind of squirrely. That's like a region that really hasn't been explored yet. Is like moving from the old republic and the war between the Jedi and the Sith into the High Republic, where things are a little bit more stable. Like that hasn't really been covered yet.
Well, it's like I guess I was trying to say the people in the High Republic realized the importance, the power, the potential of ATTIN, and they could see like, things aren't going well. We need to do something here. We need to protect this gem of the old republic, and that's why they instituted the barrier, the great work, no starships, the communist-like society.
And I mean, if you really just look at the topography of the planet, like we really haven't seen anywhere else in Star Wars that has like cities like
Suburbs.
Earth and has
it seems untouched by conflict.
Yeah, like completely untouched by conflict. Like you literally have people cutting their grass in the front yard in the show.
Would you call it a Star Wars utopia, even though it's probably sinister?
Yeah, I mean, I would think so. As it's being portrayed right now, you don't have to worry about like, there's no fucking crazy flying car highways like almost causing accidents all the time like on Coruscant. You actually have greenery and landscaping, unlike nearly every planet that you see in Star Wars. Like it's civilized in a way that is very similar to Earth. So like I would say, that this is kind of like a utopic place in Star Wars, at least from what we've seen so far.
And it's like they don't understand that they're all different races. They all consider themselves, we are ATTINs. We are the type of people that live here. We are not aliens to each other. We are ATTINs. I love it. All right, moving on here. We're still going through our Easter eggs and references. If you're just tuning into the SWTS, we do this every Wednesday, 5 p. Eastern, as close as we can get. YouTube.com/Star Wars Time Show. But we'll probably be taking off the Christmas break. At this point in time, now that I've got a shot in the arm with some actual algo love, I still don't think I'm going to do anything Christmas week for episode 5. But episode 6, there's a good chance you're going to see my happy ass at least popping on for maybe a surprise live to get some shit out off my chest about Skeleton Crew. I don't know if I can wait a full 3 weeks to start vomiting this stuff up again. So stay tuned. I'll be putting stuff out on our socials. You can find all that stuff on StarWarsTime.net. All right, so I love this one, and I was kind of pissed that Will of the Force put it out before I could, because I knew this would be one that a lot of people missed. And I'm talking about the moment where Fern and KB, they're in their garage, and this character rolls up who kind of looks like a young Adam Driver. Mm-hmm, we learn his name is Bonj Falfa. He likes to race. Well, guess what? Harrison Ford's character in American Graffiti,
oh my God,
Bob Falfa.
That's fantastic.
Get some. So that, again, look, John Watts, not a dumb guy. Chris Ford, not a dumb guy. They know how to do it, Nick. I argue I think they know how to do it better than Dave Filoni.
They're doing a killer job for sure.
They know how to do fan service better than Dave Filoni.
Yeah. At this point, they definitely do.
We may get Hondo.
Given the fact that they've already touched on so many different lore elements of Star Wars, even like super, super obscure ones, I would not doubt that we see Hondo.
It's just like these people.
I don't want to count on it, though.
I know, because it's almost too much fan service, which Disney Star Wars seems completely anti towards.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Bonj Falfa, a deep cut, like, come on. That I love that type of shit. We got a few of them, and I always love to hear it, and it makes me think of A, 1999, B, Sir Dork, C, Kitster and Annie. But you gotta love whenever you hear in universe someone drop that's Wizard, and we got it from Wim twice. The first time when he was in that detention. And by the way, Nick, we nailed that too. We kind of put out there that these kids aren't a big friend group. It's kind of the boys and the girls, and they don't know each other. And here we go. So once again, if you're new here, we may look stupid, we may sound stupid, but we're not half bad at predicting Star Wars. Our next reference here, we've almost made it into episode 2, but we talked about it. He points up his story pad. He's like, Dad, it's a sunken Jedi temple, because he saw the hatch and it looks like the symbol that he can see on his story pad. And as we identified that, yeah, this is a thing. Jedi temples could sink. And we got that canonized in Rebels. And like Nick said, I even think that on that Zepho planet, their temple could disappear. So another great reference there coming from Wim. Wim's going to be full of like the Jedi lore references. You can bet that. And then here's the big one. And Bat, they really did reshoot all of this. I don't know if you were here when we talked about it, but John Watt's like, yeah, we spent like 2 weeks to do this shit. And when I first watched it, it didn't hit me at first. And then I was like, oh, I think I've seen this before. It is the craziest shit, dude. Like when you revisit stuff from the holiday special, you have to wonder like, what in the hell was George thinking? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like what the fuck is this guy doing? Like it was like slow gymnastics. I mean, it was just like a crazy wonky circus thing, ballet. And then topped off with these little motherfuckers sitting there. They're all like wearing the same thing. Little Tulo pointing up to Wim, telling him that, hey, my bro's taking a bath. But there was the Life Day Easter egg. And they really did go all out, like they said. It was pretty brilliant. Okay. We're not even close to done with these eggs, people, because they did not disappoint in Skeleton Crew. So we're kind of moving into episode 2 to pick up on some new ones here. Right there, I said it earlier in case you missed it. I can't believe we all did not see this coming. I mean, they telegraphed it to us. But when you name a droid SM-33 and the droid happens to be a first mate on a pirate starship, you should be able to connect the dots, and I'm embarrassed it took me this long to figure it out. But yeah, there is our Smee right there, Mr. SM-33, voiced by Nick Frost. Speaking of 33, once they kind of convinced him that Fern was the new captain, and she asked him like, "Hey, can you look up our planet in your memory banks?" And that was, I just love how they kept dropping those breadcrumbs like, hey man, guess what? No one knows about this fucking planet outside of these kids. Not even the droid's memory banks could pick it up. But some planets he did spit out, we have heard. ATTIN. If you don't know where that is where the Bendu was from in Star Wars Rebels, and where the Phoenix Squad set up Chopper Base. Mm-hmm. Aldhani. That is where we had the heist episode, the heist arc in Andor. So the only planet that he named that has not been featured before was that Alcor, and I could not find anything on that. But Alaton and Aldhani definitely have played a role in Star Wars past. We knew this was coming. He was a little shorter than I was expecting, but we got a teak. Not the teak, but we got a teak. You got to remember, and I just learned this myself, Teak is a teak. Who knows if that was his name or not. That's just what Sindel called him. But Teak was a teak. Teak is a race. Teak is like an Ewok. Same thing. Okay? They're not Ewoks, but hopefully you know what I mean. Loved the puppetry. Loved when he was begging for his money. Loved when Wim gave him those Old Republic credits, and that's the first time you realize, like, oh shit, these are probably like gold bars to these motherfuckers. I mean, a single Old Republic credit, Nick, would be like you and I finding a Spanish gold token on the bottom of the sea, right?
Yeah, a gold doubloon. Yeah, like, of course. Yeah, that is super. And that's why the guy was like, oh yeah, you need way more money than that for the topping alone.
Yeah, you got to tip me for the service. I gave you the special toppings.
Yeah. But yeah, that's definitely like finding some pirate gold for sure.
Yeah, okay. All right, Nick was wondering about Port Borgo and its past. And it's got a deep history, my friend, okay? This hasn't always been just a pirate shadow port. In fact, it was actually canonized in a smuggler's guide that came out in 2018. But in Legends, it was originally a Rakatan colony known as Borgo Prime. And you can see how it's kind of broken apart and how they're trying to keep it together. But when the Rakatan had it, it was more of like a circular sphere asteroid type of colony of theirs. So this is twice now that we potentially are having canonizations or nods to the Rakatans. Remember, we got the drop from Luthen in Andor. So
Yeah.
It doesn't seem Dave and company in the Mandoverse era are opposed to looping in those legend characters who, from what you've explained to me, and we learned in KOTOR, were pretty shitty. They were pretty intense, right?
Yeah, they were. They were not good people. They were not good people. But yeah, I mean, the Rakatans have been spread throughout Old Republic history for a long time. So I'm very excited to see if they actually expand on that. Like if they go into, Rakatan history a little bit more, if they like actually show a Rakatan, because they look pretty wild. They're almost like hammerheads.
Oh yeah,
like
yeah. I mean, they
sharks.
are goofy looking. Like I look at them, Nick, and I'm like, how could these people dominate the galaxy? But it's is it the Force doesn't work on them, or they can block it or something? What was their thing?
Yeah, like they had the ability to like manipulate the Force in a different way than like current sentient species do, I believe, at least in like old lore. But they were very, very strong with the Force as well.
All right, this next one I might have to lean into your Disney lore here, or if you even picked it up.
I read this one and I was like, dude, I have no idea. Like,
okay,
yeah.
So
no,
the little pink fuzzball thing, my friends, that's an actual character from the Captain EO experience at Disney that Michael Jackson was a part of. And I wish I upload the image, but if you just search Captain EO in one of the first images, you'll see fuzzball on his shoulder. But if you look at the characters, man, Watts clearly took influence from them. They literally have a little blue elephant character. And the droid literally has a peg leg and long arms. It's just like, okay, guys, I mean, we see what you're doing here. I mean, I'm only running the fuzzball connection, but you could argue that they borrowed the look for Neil and the look for SM-33 from the Captain EO experience as well.
I mean, one of the first pictures that comes up when you search Captain EO is Michael Jackson with his hand around George Lucas's shoulder with one of the little guys
George
on
was
his
involved for sure in this.
Yeah,
I didn't, maybe it was too young for you. I figured you guys, but I think it was the 80s though. So
it was in Disney theme parks from 86 to 98, but I didn't go for the first time until 99. So it was like it closed right before I started going.
All right, so yeah, there you go. But somehow we have a connection to Michael Jackson in Star Wars now. Through Fuzzball, right? And good. Thank God Fuzzball was liberated there as the kids were being chased. Okay, so no longer in the cage. We talked about the Old Republic credits even before we were in the show. So before we were wondering what Republic. Now it's very clear. We don't really need to spend much time on this. It has helped kind of paint more of the picture of like how lost these kids' planet really is, and how desirable now they will be to these pirates. So, still cool little lore nuggets. I do appreciate that it does seem like these people are taking a risk on folding in some Old Republic stuff. You know what I mean? Like that. I think that's commendable.
Mm-hmm.
Vane is back. Another big surprise. I guess the biggest surprise here is like Vane seems to just be one of those like losers in life. Like he's never really meant to be the guy.
Like he's kind of a secondary character. Yeah,
he doesn't even seem to be like the first mate to Brutus at this point. I mean, Brutus was the first mate to Silvo, and Vane at one point in time was the first mate or first lieutenant to Gorian Shan, the Pirate King. And it seemed like Vane would maybe take the vacuum that Gorian's death would have created, but no, he fell right in line under Silvo, and then it seems again under Brutus. So Vane's just kind of a guy, you know what I mean? He's not a dude, he's just kind of a guy when it comes to his pirateering there. The bar lady who was trying to help the girl. Do you think she was trying to help the girls, or do you think she had nefarious plans ultimately?
And that was a question that Taylor asked too. She's like, what happened to that woman? Like she was talking to the girls and like all of a sudden she just like disappeared. Yeah. It seemed like she was genuinely trying to help them.
I agree.
But because we didn't see any follow-up from that character, it's hard to tell. But I do think that she was genuinely like, why are there kids here? Two, what do you mean she was
She said, you want me to believe you're Linderlings from the lost planet of eternal treasure? What the fuck's a Linderling? I looked that up.
Linderling?
I have no clue, dude. Doesn't exist.
Well, I guess we'll find out.
Doesn't exist, but it almost sounds like the outside galaxy thinks ATTIN's full of like fucking fairy people or something, right?
Yeah, like it's completely like it is
truly mystical
land.
The reason we're talking about here, not because my man Mando Pyre and I, we like Star Wars alien chicks. She's a Thelan. So we just appreciated Thelan over the summer, and Jecki was also a Thelan. So who does this actress not look familiar to you, or am I just crazy? I the whole time I'm like, who the fuck is it? I feel like I've seen that face before, but
I kind of do.
I don't think she's anyone, but maybe it's just one of those familiar faces. Who knows?
Yeah.
Okay. We're still going through our eggs here. We know Vane's back. We got the bar lady. All right. This is a good one here. I kind of like these little things. So when the chase starts and SM33 bumps the tattooer, first, the dude getting a tattoo, that's the Hutt Syndicate's symbol right there. We all that played Outlaw should be familiar with that. Speaking of Outlaws, Nick, did you grab it yet, or are you trying to work through some other games first?
I have not picked it up yet. I have not picked it up
fair
yet.
Fair enough. Christmas break's coming up. You'll have some time.
Yeah.
But we got a twofer in this one. Not only is he getting a Hutt cartel tattoo, the droid tattooing him is the same type of droid as 8D8, who we, for some reason, I feel like, we just talked about him. I don't know, his most important characters or some dumb shit in one of our special topic episodes we had to do in between the Acolyte and the first episode of Skeleton Crew. But you got like this 8D8, he's got, looks like droid tattoos, right, man? He's got like welding marks all over him.
Yeah, he's got stuff that has been permanently put on him.
You know what, man? It's that little dumb shit, those little touches like that where I'm just like, that's brilliant. Whoever said, hey, yeah, let's do 8D8 doing a tattoo, that would be kind of cool. And then someone's like, you know what? If he's a tattoo artist, he should have tattoos.
He would be tatted up.
Yeah, I'm like, fucking brilliant. I love it.
Makes sense.
It's literally like little globulates of metal ore, it seems like, you just got welded onto him.
Yeah.
Beautiful stuff. So for this show is just something else. Okay, another one not too exciting, but I'm tired of getting yelled at people on YouTube because I miss the obvious shit that I think everyone sees. But yeah, there's our boy. There's Urkel. There's Jaleel. Yeah, we knew he'd be coming in as a cyborg pirate, and Gunther. He had at least one line in this episode, so kudos to Jaleel getting some work for the first time in decades. And then last but not least, it was a top moment, but it is also an Easter egg, and that is when the Force theme plays in the cells. And I will say, I know some of you are like, dude, you missed the Pirates reference in the brig, and I'm like, okay. In Pirates, don't they use a dog, though, Nick, to try and get the key? Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess it is similar.
It's similar. It is similar.
I probably should have put it in there, but hey, I'm speaking it to life now, so suck it. And while we're talking about that, who else loves the fact that SM33 has a rat living in his head?
It's fantastic.
I mean, that just, again, the choices these creatives made are brilliant, and they're dumb shit. Like, hey, SM33, let's have him not have an eye, and you know what? Let's have a fucking space rat live in it. Like,
and the rat's name is Snowball, apparently, according to the Star Wars database.
Oh my god, I love it. But sadly, we know at some point in time he's going to patch his eye. So what does that mean for Snowball, dude?
Maybe he just crawls around his like innards.
Yeah, he comes out his ear or comes out his stomach or something.
Yeah, or maybe Snowball sticks with Fern, right? Because didn't Fern take him or something? I can't remember.
Neil, I think Neil had him.
It might have been Neil. Yeah.
I just realized for who knows the past 30 minutes the vertical was not showing the right browser. I don't know how that breaks. I don't really care. Sorry, vertical people. We just talk anyways. There's really nothing to look at. All right, Nick, we've made it through all of the eggs and top moments. Let me delete those because I've got plenty of ha's to kind of run by you. We may have covered some of these. So we know at this point in the Mandoverse era, pirates are a pretty legit problem, right? It's established that, yeah, even though the New Republic has restored order, pirates are plaguing these remote hyperspace routes. So I think that's key, and that may come into play in the Mandoverse movies or Ahsoka. Who knows?
Yeah. I mean, I think that's going to be the angle in for a character like Carson Teva or, Trapper Wolf or something like that, because they're typically the ones that are like patrolling these like outer rim areas.
Oh, I'm glad you brought that up. Guess where Port Borgo's near? And this is like super nerd shit. They're near the Hydean Way, which apparently is very close to Mandalore and Navarro and those planets. So
yeah, the Hydean Way was brought up in Mando season 2. Yeah, perhaps.
We kind of talked about this, but just to reiterate, I love Brutus. That was just literally that was a note I put down. I just said I like Brutus. I think we did cover a lot of these. Oh, the hover bike. I loved when Wim jumped on his little rickety ass bike. I mean, that again just reminded me of being back in Pittsburgh on Mason Drive, jumping on my bike with Ben Bardo and getting into whatever stupid shit we were gonna do that week. I appreciated that they went with that. Okay, we talked about the supervisor. Feels like Wizard of Oz. Blah blah blah. We did that. We did a lot of this stuff. We're good. We are good.
Yeah, we covered it.
Hey, what do you think about the dynamic between Fern and Wim? Does it have early Han Solo and Leia vibes when they met on the Death Star and she absolutely hated him and just fucking razzed him all the time?
I mean, it definitely has that feel to it right now. But I feel like Wim doesn't have Han had the confidence to kind of go back at Leia at some points, and they created that banter. And Fern just seems like she is completely
owning him.
He's not coming back. He's just like, man, this girl's mean. That's all the
You are right. It is funny, man. I mean, she just dominates his ass.
Yeah, Fern is my favorite character for sure so far of the kids.
And he takes it, man. He just takes it. Okay, we talked about no ships allowed. Why is the planet so secret? We got that. Yeah, you know what? I think we nailed this. I think we got it all. Yeah, we talked about the mystery of ATTIN, how it just became an even bigger mystery once I got to Port Borgo, because everyone there's like, you guys are, what are you talking about? ATTIN, that shit's not even real. I put out one of my theories about ATTIN, that maybe the pirates they're the ones that turned it into this crazy society. They could be the supervisor. Who knows? We talked about the utopian society of the great work and how we have Forbidden Forest safety droids. So yeah, man, I think we thoroughly punched this bitch out.
Yeah, no, I think we did.
So what do we get next week? We always like to lay down some quick predicts. What do you think we're getting in episode 3?
I think that Jad Na is definitely going to just absolutely lose his mind when he gets on this ship. I feel like he's really going to start to try to take the reins a bit from the kids, and I feel like there's going to be some resistance from Fern. I feel like Fern is definitely going to try to stay in charge, for lack of a better term, and then Jad Na is going to kind of play around that, okay, well, yeah, you're the captain, but we should go check out this place. This could get us back to ATTIN quicker if we go here, and then really starts to kind of lead the way in terms of their where they're going in their journey. And I do expect to see some Brutus and the pirates pursue.
Because now, I mean, the pirates have double motivation, because their Captain Silvo has escaped, but they also know that these kids have been talking about this mystical planet, but one of them had old public credits. If anything, they just want those credits.
So it's okay, we got to get this gold first off, but secondly, it's weird that they have this gold and they're talking about being from this planet that doesn't exist in their mind, or is it purely a myth? Yeah,
you got to think the pirates are not as dumb as they look. You got to think one of them is at least going to be like, you know what, maybe we should check into this. And so, yeah, I'm with you. I think Episode 3, I was pulling up Reddit real quick just to, because I knew they had the time estimate out there and they were pretty close on the first 2. So we're looking at 37 minutes, which means we're probably going to get about a 30-minute episode, sadly, in episode 3. So I do think it's going to be them mostly getting off of Port Borgo and all those hijinks. And it could, the whole episode, quite frankly, could be them trying to get off of Borgo, or first half is escape from Borgo. Second half is, like Nick said, we're going to start to see Jod try to manipulate the kid crew in a way where they feel like he's helping them, but they're really giving him exactly what he wants.
Yeah, and I do think that there's going to be a lot of whim, just like poking at Jod.
100%.
Are you a Jedi? Or just like, can you teach me how to use the Force?
He's starstruck, right? Like he's in awe.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's why I love Wim as a character. I mean, he's us. He's the fan. He's a Star Wars fan. And what would we do if some dude floated some shit by our faces? We would probably jizz in our pants and want to know everything he knows and be around him at all times.
100%.
So yeah, I think you're spot on there.
Yeah.
All right, man, it is time to transition this bitch into the fan segment to put episode 336 of the SWTS to bed. We do this every week, people. At the end of the show, there's 2 ways to get involved. Question of the week, which goes up on most of our social platforms. Just get involved. Follow. Turn on those notifications. Subscribe. Comment. Tell the machines you love us, and you will see our content clearly. And for the next 6 weeks or so, the question of the week is going to be easy. What did you think about X episode of Skeleton Crew, Nick? So let's see what the fans had to say this week. Let me get the appropriate screen up here. We asked them, hey, with our buddy Neil, what was their favorite or least favorite part from Skeleton Crew's premiere?
Indeed. All right.
Go ahead.
Kicking off with Burkhead Toys. Burkhead says, what everyone else is going to say about the 80s adventure vibes, Explorers, Goonies, E.T., SM33 was a big highlight, and all the little fandom nods like Captain EO and the holiday special. So really enjoying the nostalgic throwback vibes. The Marco says, as long there is no negative aspect except school, even in my early 40s, that's still the one thing that triggers. It's amazing that the series manages to characterize the characters so naturally and logically and gives them comprehensible characteristics and goals. Some shows have not managed to do that throughout their entire run, but the VIP, of course, is Neil. So good stuff there. He's just enjoying the character building.
You gonna get a Neil tattoo, Nick? Maybe that's what I should do. Get a jump on it and finally have an original
Neil tattoo, dude. That's it. I think that's
Neil
the one.
and Tulu. Here we go.
There we go. All right. 2797 Studios. Mr. Bat says, I enjoyed the whole package. The story is intriguing. The characters are engaging. Felt like Star Wars. The particle effects and droids were epic. SM33 is an early favorite. Was most happy with the fan reaction. Glad the trolls stayed in their basements. Looking forward to this adventure. Next up. So who is this story reply here? If you can... it's got the tree, the dragon, the picture, and then the spaceship.
That person.
Corona 4.
Yeah.
Corona 4.
Oh, there you go.
Who it is.
There you go.
I was right. It was superimposed. It says, great characters, sets, and effects. Love the vibe. I'm in and looking forward to see where this story takes us. There we go. Corona enjoys it. Next up, we have
That's Abigail.
Abigail Sky, Divided Skywalker. She says, favorite the retro set designs for the home planet. Least favorite the mean girl attitude of Fern. Oh man, Divided hates Fern.
Oh no, Nick, that's your favorite. I love Fern.
She keeps these kids in line. She's like, look, we need a leader. If Fern wasn't there, that would be a listless group with no leadership.
I think KB may be the hidden star, though.
I do like KB.
The quiet ones. You got to be careful for them. They're always thinking about something.
I do like KB, and I also like how KB's visor comes up and down. Like it's not a permanent fixture across her eyes. Like she can use it if she needs it, but also lift it back up.
Yeah, I mean she's she also doesn't seem full like liquidated brain Lobot either.
No,
it is really kind of. I mean, would you call her a cyborg, or is it more of an implant?
I think it might just be an implant. Honestly, I don't think that she's like Lobot level or even like Echo level of.
Yeah,
cyborg.
but I mean, look, I mean, she was plugging that shit in to open doors, and she could modulate her voice. So I mean, I want one of those fucking things. Definitely,
for sure. Ripik Tan says, loved everything about the premiere. Listening to the score through end credits was so nice. Clone Wars 501st says, exactly what I was looking for in Star Wars. Some good old-fashioned fun. Loved it. Very entertaining. Johnny Osage says, hello, SWTS. I completely love the first two episodes of Skeleton Crew. Super nostalgic with the late 70s, 80s. Growing up and playing with my Star Wars figures and vehicles, exploring, riding bikes, playing lightsaber battles, and doodling. All we needed was a bunch of kids in the streets yelling, "Speeder, play on." That's a good one. It had major Goonie ET vibes for me, and I thought Wim, with his looking away to the future, the horizon was more Luke and Fern is the Han of the crew with their own 3PO.
I can see that.
Neil. Yeah, with 3PO is Neil, and then Chewie is KP. Interesting. Right. Needless to say, the wife and I are closing on a home on ATTIN. Just got to get a U-Haul with Lightspeed. I mean, ATTIN would be a sick place to live.
I love there, man. Even though like all the houses look the same, they still look like pretty sweet homes for Star Wars. I mean, we're used to motherfuckers living in like tight apartments or hovels.
Yeah, I mean, like literally like built out of stone with fucking dirt on the ground. And like these people have like upstairs with fully functional
They got garages.
like,
they got side garages.
Yeah, dude, that's pretty sick little living right there. I'd definitely be in. But yes, that is the end of the question of the week. So thank you everybody who participated. And if you want to get involved in the question of the week, make sure to follow us at StarWarsTime.show on Instagram. And hey, for those of you out there who do interact with it, why don't you give the story post a share on your story? See if you can get other friends to interact with it as well.
Wouldn't that be novel? For some reason, like I would love to get in Beyond the Dune Seas network of channels because they literally support the fuck out of each other. If someone posts something, then every one of them are sharing it. Us, we post, unless it's the stupid ass toy photography reel that I barely do anymore, no one shares it. It's like...
If we do Star Wars content too, we have good Star Wars content to share.
I believe in my shit. That's why when one pops finally like this review, I feel like, okay, I haven't wasted my entire adult life. But listen, I'm not an idiot. I know by next week it's all going to go away, so who cares?
I mean, hopefully Buzz stays positive around the show and things keep looking up.
Divide is saying our content breaks their fucking IG, so there you go. Makes sense.
Oh, no. Yeah, that does make sense. But yeah, anyway, we are now going to move into the top 5 Star Wars fan artist features of the week. To get involved, do the same thing. Follow at StarWarsTime.show on Instagram and tag us, tag at StarWarsTime.show on your Star Wars.
All the ads
Instagram
on my
posts.
screen right now. You could tell. You know what I did, Nick? I got weak from this fucking show, and that's how I know I love it. Did I tell you?
No, would you went on a
bought the entire Black Series wave?
There you go. Hey man, you felt inspired by the show.
You know what I mean? Like I know you're not a collector, so you don't quite understand why we're weird like that. But it's like when something touches me in that way, and it I feel the need to commemorate it almost, like honor it. And for me, that's usually through plastic dolls. So here we go. Yeah. First Black Series purchase in over 2.5 years.
There you go.
Divide. I'll look into that. Maybe we got some setting fucked up on our who knows anymore. I don't even know. We auto post from an AI. The AI is probably fucking all the settings up. Who knows? That's the Star Wars Time show. Okay. But look at all the figure ads on our site right now, or at least my version of it, because I've been clicking on shit online. They're like, "Oh, this idiot likes toys." Here you go. All right, Nick, let's do it.
Nice. All right. To kick off the top 5 this week, we have at dankferric.toys. And Dank Ferric Toys gives us a mashup of our 2 favorite franchises, Star Wars and Lord of the Rings. And it is through Ahsoka the White in her fight against the Balrog of Moria. So, I mean, this setup was fucking sick as hell. You see Ahsoka with her white lightsaber, and then also holding what is the closest approximation to Gandalf's staff, standing above the Balrog on the bridge before the collapse, and then the Balrog standing there with his whip and blade ready to go. I mean, this is just so cool.
You know what, dude?
This is such a badass shot.
This blew me away. I totally forgot to share your top 5 the past 2 weeks, so I have not seen them, which I love. I do like genuinely being surprised by your picks, but yeah, this is fucking tits. Because we got, I'm sure you said it, we got Ahsoka the White versus a Balrog. Yep. I mean, come on.
Exactly. I mean, just
man,
cool
that is
looking
awesome.
stuff here.
Holy shit, I love that.
Awesome stuff. At dankferric.toys.
I doubt you listen. Send us some prints, bro.
I was gonna say that is
kick ass, man.
Awesome.
That is kick ass.
Next up, we have Dark Realm Diorama, and Dark Realm Diorama gives us a really clean and crispy shot of Din Djarin in his full Mando outfit, but he is making his way through deep snow. He's clearly left Grogu behind in the ship because Grogu can't make his way through the snow, I assume. But I just love the setup. I love the natural light. I love the use of the snow in the background tree to like really build a good background for the shot. And then the posing on Mando with his vibro blade out and his blaster pistol. Just a clean shot here from Dark Realm Diorama.
Yeah, it's like Divided saying, I mean, this makes me cold just looking at it. And I live in a cold part of the country. It is shit right now, man. Like we're under 40. It's 38 right now. It feels great. Especially when you have to work out in the garage gym. That feels great working out in 40-degree fucking concrete. Yeah.
That is cold. I mean, we're starting to get into the 50s now a little bit in Texas.
You poor baby. But by fucking February, you're right back to the 70s. So.
Dude, probably by next week we'll be back to the 70s.
You know what? I mean, honestly, this shot here, Nick, could be from the Mando and Grogu movie. We know they're on a snowy planet we've seen from the sizzle reel. So kudos to Dark _Realm _Diorama.
That's right. Next up, we have...
I did see this one, at least in our feed. This is a fun one.
Oh, yeah. 97 Parsecs Photography. One of our faves over here, Mr. Robert Day, giving us the Boba Fett Christmas special. So you see Boba sitting on his new throne within Jabba's throne room. In the background, Boba is surrounded by presents. He's got his Christmas tree right next to him with the helmet of a dead stormtrooper shoved in there, a bunch of presents under the tree. You can see that he opened a 1/6 scale Slave 1. You can see that he's got a Gamorrean guard back there wearing a nice little red and white Christmas scarf. You have a pit droid sitting up there with him too. And then it's
is the baby Rancor? Is he climbing in the tree, hanging lights, or what's the baby Rancor doing up there?
Yeah, he is. I think he's got some Christmas ornaments that he's hanging up there. So the baby Rancor is hanging up some Christmas ornaments.
Dude, 97 is probably one of the best, if not the best, toy photography scene stagers in the game.
That's what. The scene building that 97.
I like Boba crazy. Looking at the picture, like, get off my fucking Slave 1.
It's like, come on, man, like, fuck out of here. Don't go do something. Go fuck with the droids or something.
That is a quality shot from 97 _Parsecs _Photography.
Indeed. Next up, we have Stormy Strawberry.
Ooh, lovers.
And Stormy Strawberry.
I don't think these two would not be loving each other if you know what Dooku did to her people.
That is very true. Maybe this was a forlorn love that happened before he destroyed all of the Night Sisters.
This is some Stockholm syndrome shit right here.
For sure. But the shot itself is pretty cool. So you see Morgan Elsbeth, formerly of the Night Sisters, and Count Dooku embraced in a loving way, staring deeply into each other's eyes, seemingly about to entangle themselves in romantic ecstasy. I love the shadows of the shot, the posing of the figures, even though, like you said, they probably wouldn't be as lovey-dovey as they are in the canon. But even like the use of like blurred background lighting and stuff like
Yeah,
that. I just thought
it's a
cool
well
shot.
posed shot. It's a what if, right? It's a what if. What if Count Dooku didn't genocide Morgan's race?
So I think so if you read Stormy's caption, they say revenge for Dathmir's best
she's
served
stabbing
red.
him,
So
huh?
she's like getting all close to him, but she's really going in for the kill. So good stuff there from Stormy.
all right, Stormy, I see you.
And then
you got him. He returned.
I got him. To close out the top 5 this week, we got Ches Picks 66. Ches Picks is an old school Star Wars time show special. Always tags us, and we appreciate it. And Ches comes back with the what was the designation of the ship? But it's Mando and Grogu's new ship, the Naboo Starfighter ship.
It's an N1.
You can see N1 Starfighter. That's an N1. You can see You can actually see Grogu there in the little astromech droid spot. Ship flying down low over the sands of Tatooine, perhaps, or is it the sands of Jakku, or is it the sands of another different sand planet? But Ches, if you're not familiar with his work, has always been known for his fantastic golden hour photography out in the dunes, and this shot perfectly portrays his skill set.
Amen.
So at ChessPicks66 on Instagram, make sure to follow. That's the end of the top 5, and that is the end of our show for this week. So Matt, go ahead and close us out.
All right, my friend. Always a good time talking Star Wars with you, especially when it is new Star Wars. And in the case of Skeleton Crew, very nostalgic, very exciting, and even better, my favorite part, very mysterious. Cannot wait to see where things go. Like I said, I've got 3 mysteries I'm keyed on. Jadna in the wood, what the fuck's that guy doing? Why was the cinder on ATTIN? And then, of course, ATTIN's secret eternal treasure itself. Can't wait to see how things play out over the next 6 episodes. Like I said, we'll be taking a break around episodes 5 and 6 to spend time with our families during the holidays. But I do think there's a very good chance New Year's week, maybe Thursday or Friday, I might pop on to release some pent-up Star Wars jizz, if you know what I'm saying. All right, there's always time for Star Wars time, my friends. We're glad you joined us today. If you are a new sub coming in from the Skeleton Crew review, hopefully you liked what you saw. We do this every Wednesday, 5 p. Eastern, as close as you can get, youtube.com/Star Wars Time Show. Seriously, big appreciation for all our live streamers today. The chat was popping off early on. And as always, it kind of dies out because I wouldn't want to listen to us for almost 3 hours. So I 100% get the fatigue. But we really do love when you people get in here and kind of go back and forth with us. Obviously, the members, we love you. We speak your names. Our Discorders, we see you there every week. League, don't worry. I still got your super dark Lord of the Sith tier request. I will be doing an artificial Scott and Sally podcast on Dr. Afra coming up, all right? Because we're here to serve. Are you not entertained, my friends? There is always time for Star Wars time. So let's keep it up. Hopefully some of you noobs were in here today and you're going to be back next week. If not, if you're watching this now because you get our content in your email, maybe you'll check us out next week. There's always time for Star Wars time, as you will learn now that you have joined this crazy little cult of Star Wars lovers. We don't hate Star Wars over here. We'll criticize it if it deserves it, but we're not here to just beat the shit out of it for quick hits and cheap fame. StarWarsTime.net. Don't forget. So we get all the social, you get the YouTube, you get the content. I have been putting out some content these days, so check it out in between our lives. All right, people, you know how we end these things out. If you listen to the Star Wars Time Show, the Force will be with you always.